Gray Knights. It's not that good.
What's the name of the event?
Renegade Open.
It's a relatively large event, right?
Yeah,
well
I think
known
we'll
at
have
least.
80 folks.
And oh, there we are. There we are. Sorry, some technical difficulties, Guys, I apologize. Hopefully you can hear us. Working out the kinks. So, yeah. Here joined with Cody. Here is on site. He is the head judge for the stream table. Say hi, Cody.
Hello.
And then we're joined with the amazing Skari from the is it the Lost City or the Forgotten City? The Dark City. Okay, I don't play a lot of
Games.
Drukhari much. Games actually, that's actually true as well. And then we also have Doug, who is SiegeWorld Iron Warriors extraordinaire. He is the TO of SiegeWorld. Also, we call him Jug, because that's his Facebook name. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Really? I think Cody has an opinion about the terrain. I think we talked
we
about
had
that
a pretty
last
good
night.
conversation about that last night. Oh, Doug, I'm glad you're here. That is the nice part.
Do you think the solution could be more ruinous, ruins that look like L's? You know, is that an accurate solution? I mean, these are literally just blocks that look like cinder blocks. Yeah.
I like to have it my way too. I mean, I get there.
Okay. Can't hear Doug. Okay. Awesome. No, they can't hear you. So let me fix that. Doug, can you go ahead and say something real quick? Okay. Yep, you're not coming through. Yep. Let's see.
Should, yeah.
Sorry, I'm fixing audio issues. Hey, Mark.
Points wise, you know.
It is on your end. It is on Doug's end. So we're almost done. Let me see if this fixes it.
All that secondary before it dies. So the last wound isn't a point where he chooses
Yeah, that's what I said.
Mark is you.
Yeah, it just says this. It's just this thing, you and your opponent.
Right, but I'm
So-
saying I need to put Mark as the you and I'm as the opponent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Test. Okay, cool. So, hello, voice meter input. Voice. No, that's not it. It's a voice meter banana problem. I know. I think we're gonna have to do it like this.
You're operating like a digital soundboard, so I mean, like, imagine, you know, like a DJ at a club or whatever has like that big mixing board, and you got a bunch of sound input cables going in everywhere, and then you got to have the output go to the right spot, and you have to set the right sliders and whatnot. It's and then imagine just doing it on a computer. It's complicated.
Yep. I think I got it fixed. Is it super loud? I'm going to set up my other laptop and do some sound levels. So for those of you who haven't had any coffee this morning, so those of you watching, we still haven't actually started round one. There was an issue with the scheduling, and so we do have our match for this round. So that's awesome. And we're featuring Grey Knights and Slaanesh. So that's really good.
Was the new Faith and Fury allowed for this tournament?
Sadly, it was not. Neither was the FAQ that just came out.
So
Apparently
still
I'm-
silly salamanders?
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm reasonably loud.
I mean, you do talk really loud.
We did account for this being a problem.
No, I'm okay.
Also-
that it is a problem.
Well, so you guys couldn't hear, but I hate the terrain, and now you're caught up on everything that I was talking about.
Accurate. 100%.
Accurate. You've encompassed your point precisely.
Yeah, if you can just imagine, I just said that over and over and over again, and Skari muted me, and that's why y'all couldn't hear me.
Actually, that's exactly what
I
happened,
didn't.
Doug.
And then Skari talked about painting Centurions, and it, you know, I'm sure they look pretty good.
Coming along. They're a repurposed Imperial Fist Centurion that turned into Black Templar Centurions. So I had to reprime them and sort of repaint them. And right now I'm just slowly getting the little details done. Like the little Aquilas and stuff.
Did you convert them at all to make them like less sort of derpy looking?
I didn't. I got them secondhand. They were converted to make them more
Like taller?
dynamic. They're on taller bases, and they move. They have more like.
Hey, we got Blue
movement on the model.
Kenny 76. Thanks for following.
And then that. But I've been playing some games with the new Templar rules, and let me tell you, excited about it.
How have they been working out?
Considering. Good. You know, the biggest thing that I haven't been using is the fact that technically they benefit from both the Imperial Fists and the Black Templar supplement. And I just haven't been doing that because I think it's something that I would see GW making a correction about because they are Imperial Fist successors. However, just the Templar rules from Faith and Fury have been very fun. They have some really cool, powerful stratagems for like advancing and charging and getting out of Crusaders and being really fun and doing damage in close combat and the anti-psyker stuff that you would come to expect from them. So
I'm super pumped
I
about
like
that.
them. Yeah, yeah, they basically have the Iron Hands denial strat, but for 1 command point instead of 2 at least right now, which can be very powerful in the right situation.
Right, but what other anti-psyker defense do they have?
Well, they get to. That's it, really. They get. They have a warlord trait that allows a warlord to deny the witch, and gives them +1 to deny the witch as well.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. Cool thing is, their named chaplain Grimaldus comes with a built-in deny the witch as well. So you can essentially have Grimaldus deny 2 witches per turn if you give him that warlord trait, because that's his warlord trait that he comes with. Mm-hmm. And have him get +1 on both rolls, and then have the ability to shut down a psychic power and a 4+. So you can shut down, like, there's quite a bit of psychic defense you can get with them, which is pretty cool.
And then doesn't Grimaldus also know 2 litanies? Yeah,
he is a master of sanctity, so he knows 2 of the litanies, and the new Black Templar litanies aren't bad. My favorite right now is a 5-up Feel No Pain for not just mortal wounds, but all wounds on like an infantry unit. So that's pretty cool on like either Terminators or Centurions. You can really keep them alive against like just regular firepower.
Right.
And that psychic defense, the ignore mortal wounds on 5+, is very useful in the right situation, especially against like Thousand Suns and other chaos stuff.
Yeah, Admech and Knights have that as well. That comes in really handy.
Built in, and then the new Xenobite servitors increase it to a 4+. So any unit within 6 inches of the Xenobites get a 4+ deny on mortal wounds, which makes things like smites like completely useless. Which proved to be really useful in the last game I played.
Wow, that's really spicy actually, because he's going to be in your army anyway, of course.
Yeah, Grimaldus, yeah, he's the same cost as a chaplain with a jump pack, except he's a chaplain master, a chaplain master, and he has a plasma pistol, because why not? And he has a better, and he has a better Crozius Arcanum as well, so better Quascama weapon, litanies, and he can deny a psychic power for the same cost as a regular chaplain with a jump pack, which in my opinion is well worth it. Oh, and he makes 6s explode in close combat for Black Templars within 6, so he does that too.
Wow.
I'm glad that the Space Marines got some more buffs. They really were.
They didn't have enough.
Yeah, after their codex came out, they really needed some help.
They were struggling, you know.
I sense someone's pretty salty.
No, actually, I really like Space Marines, and I especially like all the new Primaris models. And it's sad, or it was sad putting them on the table and just having them be like awful.
I'm very glad that they are strong. They always should have been.
I think one of the things that I would have looked for like the Primaris stuff to completely replace the old Marine stuff, or maybe have the army be split into 2 or whatever. But I just like using the Primaris stuff because I just think they look cooler. But
yeah, I agree.
Done an excellent job in making us want more Primaris things and asking, for the death of all other Space Marines and just more Primaris things. I think that's been an excellent marketing ploy by Games Workshop, slowly but surely. I like that they can kill off regular Space Marines at the request of the fan base instead of in spite of the fan base.
Yeah,
well, sure. I mean, think of it this way. I mean, how many people enjoyed Land Raiders, and then they just took a Land Raider and they stuck like 8 more guns on it, and then we didn't even realize that we wanted a Land Raider with 9 more guns, so they gave us the Executioner also.
100%.
I mean, they just know us so well.
It's a good
Well-
question. Hang on.
Anything with
Well, for you guys listening and watching at home, we did upload everybody's list into our better information
I'll find it.
panel, the Twitch panel. So, Skari, I know you are able to pull it up. Is that correct?
on Best Coast pairings, did they put up the pairings already?
Not yet,
For the first
but I
time?
can tell you who's playing.
Yeah, tell us who it is.
Okay, so it's Dennis Wise, a frequent Game 1 streamer, because it is literally most likely the only game he will be on stream.
I've heard that he's king of the bottom tables.
Accurate.
All hail the king.
So, Dennis Wise, he has a Slaaneshi army. I didn't know. Skari, could you go over that one? If you can see
One
it.
from last time, they switch it up, or
Oh, by the way, lists are currently still hidden.
Oh, I see.
Are
Okay, that's all right.
Well, let's talk about what we think his list should be playing Slaanesh Chaos.
Well, I can go over with you.
Fury,
That's not necessary.
That's not necessary. Okay, that's fair.
we don't need help. Hold on, I'll open up I've got the player red list, player blue list.
Yep,
Okay,
that's
who's
perfect.
blue, who's red? Who's blue, who's red?
Dennis is blue.
Correct.
Oh. Renegade Chaos, 104 power level. That is Emperor's Children Legion.
Does this tournament have a power level?
No, it's just being silly. It's 1,997 points, or 1,997 points. So we have Emperor's Children, Spearhead Detachment, Chaos Lord with a bolt pistol, chainsword, Marcus Slaanesh. Then we have a Havoc unit with a champion, 4 Havocs with Reaper chain cannons. Then a aspiring champion, another unit of Havocs with a Flamer, aspiring champion, and 4 more Havocs with chain cannons. And then, where's the 4th heavy support? 1 Havoc, 2 Havocs. Oh, there we go. And then,
By the way,
last cannon. Yes.
D-Love wants to say that he wants you to make the magic happen.
I will try and make the magic happen, although us Black Templars, don't believe in magic, and if I'm playing my Dark Eldar, then we don't use witches either, so magic? More like skill and bile.
Well, maybe he means like magic in like the, more existential sense. Like, I don't know.
Being at the right place at the right time sort of thing.
Yeah. Or, like
Saying the right thing, right.
being really suave when you approach that lady at the bar or something,
Hello and welcome to the suave showcase of this game. First of all, we have the Emperor's Children, so you know it's going to be a good time.
That's.
I feel
I'm gonna have
really
to
dirty
Take a
right
break.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is Dennis's army right here.
Hey,
Filthy Slaanesh, let's say, not excited about the Filthy Slaanesh because I am, as a Dark Eldar player, not a fan of Slaanesh.
Hey, it's upside down, Jason.
That is
The
your point of
picture.
view.
I think you forced that point of view on everyone at this point.
I have to. Maybe I can get a better camera angle. Man, I've worked with some really hard people that are just critiquing me. I don't feel very confident in my ability.
Toxic work environment.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
You know the old
Cody's just
saying-
like a taskmaster last night.
The old saying,
Should
if,
try and-
we're not picking on you, it's because we don't like you.
Is it the opposite?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because we're picking on you, we like you.
Okay.
No. When people tell you that, it's a trap. It's just them giving an excuse to pick on you.
Damn it, now everybody knows.
Little did we know that in his list he also has a battalion detachment. There's music? I can't hear music.
Yeah, I can't hear any music either.
the Lesk, cool, the contorted epitome, or epitome, with 10 D-minutes, 10 D-minutes, 20 D-minutes, and then a super heavy detachment of Chaos Knight. So this is more a Chaos list, not a Slaanesh list. A Lord of War Knight Desecrator.
Terrible.
With a... 2 War Dogs with thermal spheres and meltaguns and chain cleavers. So 2 plus combat War Dogs, a Knight Desecrator. Are they the...
Tell me they're Iconoclast.
Iconoclast? No, they're Infernal. Infernal.
Oh. No.
He decided to run them as Infernal because he likes murdering himself as he goes.
Well, so the War Dogs actually are really are become a little scarier as Iconoclast because their little chainsaw things get to like -3 and -4 AP.
Yeah.
And that extra attack, which they can split to 2, so they can they get 10 attacks instead of 8, is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But the reroll, like paying 420 points for reroll 1s with your knight that only has D3 shots is like it's just not good.
Yeah, not only that, but you've got I like a lot of the stuff that they can do, like Iconoclast. Infernal can be really fun. They have some cool options, but I feel for tournaments, definitely Iconoclast is better than Infernal because A, you're not killing yourself as you go, and B, they have access to these pre-game strats that allow you to sort of really gear your list towards your opponent a little better.
Right.
I think that's very important in a competitive environment.
Well, I mean, there are several knights that benefit from the Infernal House, but the ones that he has in his army are not those.
Because Iconoclast but I can see the theme he's going with. He's definitely going for a very aggressive, in-your-face style list, with all the demonettes, and then the close combat knights, which are designed to just get in your face and create damage. However, I feel like demonettes do die very, very quickly, and being against Grey Knights, yes, he's going to be able to recycle some demonettes, with some command points, so that'll be fun to see. So we'll see how that kind of pans out.
So we've got the Grey Knights on the screen. It's upside down.
Let's go through the list here.
I'm not going to cut the cameras. You already know what you did wrong, Jason.
That's fine. We got Taskmaster Commissar Doug. Summary execution.
The Grey Knights only let you see exactly what they want you to see.
Accurate.
I'll tell you what they want you to see is they want you to see that GW isn't going to make any Primaris ones anytime soon. And we're all very sad about that. I'm a little salty about that, if we're being honest.
Well, they have to put the old kits to use somewhere.
I understand. Actually, I'm surprised that they haven't instead found a way to sell some sort of upgrade kit, like a spacer or legs or something that puts all the new or old Marines to the newer scale, and they could sell those things to everybody that has old stuff too.
You never know what goes through their minds, so we'll see. Then again, it might just be easier to not have to worry about it and just make new things and follow their distribution chain. So it's all about the profit margins and the bottom line, right?
Right. Well, yeah, we're not businessmen. We are merely, yeah.
Then again, if Games Workshop says, hey, in order to buy the next model, you have to jump this high, I'll be like, great. I will do this.
That's how they're going to get us all. That's how they're going to get us all in shape.
Yeah, we had 3 players show up, finally.
Oh, okay. That's always fun. I guess the scheduling issue seems to have been...
Well, I don't know if it was scheduling. They were at Beer Hammer last night. I'm pretty sure this guy got pretty drunk.
Oh, it's one of those entrances.
Was it someone that we really needed to show up, or was it? you know.
Well, that wasn't my decision. That was the PO. But we're getting this game started right now.
Let's go over these Grey Knights then, so that everybody out there can understand the power of the Grey Knights in this list. You know, Grey Knights have won some things this season. Like, it's not like they're unheard of winning, but I find it's mostly against people who don't understand the Grey Knights can be quite dangerous. And, you know, it's mostly in Australia where, you know, they have their own crazy meta, which is always fun. But I have seen things like Purifiers do really well, and Paladins and Land Raiders do really well, especially if there's enough terrain to hide things behind. Then they usually have the ability to do okay in a competitive sense.
Land Raiders are really tough.
That you can't see because they shoot out of line of sight, and who can't be tagged because they can gate out of combat. They're really tough.
Well, right, and they're toughness 8 with a 2-up save going to a 1+ save in cover. You know,
Definitely.
Now, you're right. The Gate of Infinity is really strong for a Land Raider, plus the Astral Aim.
Yep.
But in this particular list, though, actually the Knight's Laser Destroyer, like, there's literally nothing better to shoot at but a Land Raider.
Well, of course. You know, then again, everybody brings Grey Knight Land Raiders, and everybody we know brings Knights with lances.
Yeah. Because isn't that gun like -5 AP or something too?
-4 or something. Yeah, it essentially has a good AP. So if you don't have an invul, you're pretty much not getting a save.
Yeah. And,
yeah, which is understandable.
And because this is like the exhibition match or whatever, round 1 for these guys, he's going to roll his D3 shots as 3 shots every time, and he's going to take that Land Raider off the board turn 1.
Because that's what the people want to see, another dead Land Raider.
Yes. And then we're going to talk about how Grey Knights, we just knew Grey Knights didn't have it.
Absolutely. It's the only way. However, Grandmaster Voldus is definitely in his battalion detachment here.
He's a bad mofo.
He's pretty beastly, so definitely a good character to have. I find that the strongest Grey Knight armies tend to be very character heavy and rely on a lot of characters as well to do some of the heavy lifting. So seeing Voldus in there, you know, makes me happy inside.
Yeah, he gets 3 casts, and he knows, or he can know all the good spells, and he has that Demon Hammer without a negative modifier to hit. That's really good as well.
I want him to run up to Celeste and punch Celeste in the face. Then we have it.
Conversely, Celeste runs up and tries to get the charge off, and then Voldus interrupts her heroic interventions and gets him.
Ooh, that would be... Yes, we should totally kind of create a scenario in our heads, and if it goes off, are we taking wages?
I'm always taking wages.
Usually how that works. So there are 3 strike squads in this Grey Knight army that have Storm Bolters. However, I feel like that is not a strong part of this list. Even though you do get a lot of command points for taking a battalion, I feel like taking a battalion in a Grey Knight army is more of a detriment than anything. Strike squads just don't, in my opinion, just don't have the potential that other units in the army do.
That's true, but on the other hand, like, if you're going to play pure Grey Knights, then that's your only troops. You don't really have a choice.
Like, taking Purifiers and, for example, is better than strike squads. You know, you take less command points, but Purifiers are in the jump pack guys are usually better as well. You know, you get the same sort of chassis, but they're more useful.
Yeah, but you need those command points to pop off your Astral Aim and your Fight on Death for all your characters.
Well, Astral Aim is a psychic power.
Or not, I'm sorry, Cybolt ammo, that's what I was thinking of.
Right, 100%, I guess, but a lot of the times, Cybolt ammo you'll be using every once in a while, and if you take the heavy support guys, for example, and give them Astral Aim, they have their, silencers. Those things are really fun. You know, being even though they're only strength 4, being D3 damage can really catch people off guard if they're not careful.
That's true. You're true. Yeah, you're right there. I just like my command points.
Yeah. I've seen it both ways. I've seen, we have a very good Grey Knight player in our region that basically was taken under the wing of Eric, I think it is, the Australian that did really well with his Grey Knights. Mm-hmm. And this is all stuff that kind of comes directly from this guy that won, a giant tournament with Grey Knights without a single troop choice. So I guess that's why he's biased that way.
Didn't he have 2 Land Raiders as well in his army?
He had 3 Land Raiders, but yes, 3 Land Raiders and 10 Paladins, which
that guy's a hero.
Yeah, but it's funny how a lot of the concepts in that list, you put it to practice in the Grey Knight army, it works great in the ITC format. It's just there are a couple of matchups that are hard for the Grey Knights, but they win more than they lose if you practice with them.
Well, I mean, a Grey Knight Terminator is or a Paladin is a strong model.
Yes, yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's statistically speaking, if you're looking at stat centers, Grey Knights are like in the shitter right now. But that's also because, all the good players have decided to turn and play, other stuff, really.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at ITC rankings specifically, and you're saying to yourself, I want to win best Grey Knights, you can do that with a good list, but like, to do that though, you're going to go your whole season with like 3-2 or 4-2 finishes, and like sometimes that doesn't feel good for like a good for someone.
Yeah, especially if you're traveling a lot and investing the money and making things happen and going to events and things like that, for sure. He does have a Land Raider Crusader with his last cannon Stormbolter heavy bolters. And a Supreme Command detachment of Grey Knights with a brother captain, a Grandmaster, and another Grandmaster characters, and then a Vanguard detachment with a brother captain and each part of the detachment.
That's a lot of Grandmasters.
Yeah, well, 2 brother captains, 2 grandmasters, Grandmaster Boldus, and then the Vanguard detachment that is empty currently.
Well, that's
it. It's
a pro strat right there.
Yeah, it can be anything you want it to be if it's not listed, depending on what game you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know why everybody doesn't do that.
Unless we can get Jason to fill in the blanks for us there.
He might be summoning.
I was summoning a Taquito. Has not come yet.
Taquitos. You, sir, are tempting me in the wrong ways more than the Slaanesh way.
I apologize, 100%. So, in his Vanguard detachment, it might be wrong. So all I have is a brother captain.
Unless that's part of the Supreme, and he has just 4 characters in the Supreme Command detachment.
I think
and
that's
it.
probably what happened.
Yellow card.
Yup.
Yeah. Yellow card.
Yep. Double check that.
Card.
Eject him from the game.
Oh man.
Dude.
That would be
It's like rounds over. Slaanesh wins. Thanks everybody.
Grey Knights are so bad they don't even have to play the game to lose.
Oh.
It's usually how that goes. So we've got a war detachment. Deployment. which is really fun. And do we know what mission they're playing? They're playing mission 2. Mission 2. So you've got Cut to the Heart, mission 2.
Right.
And it's one side deploys everything, and the other side gets to watch and then deploy and counter deploy. The side that deploys goes first.
I'm kind of surprised that he put the knight over on the side there, and then he put the. I would have thought he would have had the Havocs start all behind the building, or as many in the building as he could,
just to make sure that if he gets who chose to go? Did he choose to deploy first? Go first?
Yes.
Is there a chance for C's?
Yes, this is mission
Okay, so
2. So
he did not make his opponent go first, so his opponent can still seize then.
correct. So
right? But Havocs, since Havocs ignore the penalties for heavy weapons, they could have moved to the same spot.
It's more because they're mostly armed with chain cannons, so he wants them nice and close. However, the last cannon ones I would have definitely put in the building for sure. And then again, he's got the big L's in the middle, so we'll see. I honestly, I feel he should have put the knights right where in front of his opponent's objective, and just run at his opponent's objective with everything to try to get that bonus point as early on as possible to try and essentially steal the objective away from his opponent. As it stands right now, I feel his knights are way out of position.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
strategy.
agree.
I think that just trying to literally cram them down your opponent's throat there would be really beneficial to force your opponent to really deploy heavily on his opponent's objectives. Or maybe he
might be
or something to go on the right side there.
Yeah, or maybe he's just trying to make sure that he can use the big range on that knight to kind of to be in like a hammer and anvil position to just have full reign of the table. But I feel like we're gonna have maybe 2 to 3 turns. Like when you look at the camera and see how tall those L's are, like that knight's gonna be out of the game for 3 turns, maybe 4 turns.
Especially
that's a big deal.
Especially with only a D3 shot weapon.
Yes.
I mean, if he had
I think he's got the relic gun on it, which is D6 shots.
Oh boy.
Which doubles its suckiness when it rolls a 1.
I mean, if it was a double battle cannon knight, then yeah, it's definitely in the right position. But yeah, I mean, it should be up there punching and shooting and doing like everything. Being a superstar. Oh, and don't forget those Havocs. The Havoc champion has a flamer, so he may be thinking that he's going to run forward with them and use the flamer.
Well, if you did, honestly, if you are going to do something like that, spending points on one rhino can be handy as well. Just have them in a rhino so that you have your chain don't just get shut up to death or whatnot.
It looks like the guys are ready to go. They've all deployed. Literally, Mark has deployed 5 servitors, 10 servitors. So Mark has 5 units in reserve and 5 units in a Land Raider. Excuse me, 4. So,
I think in the words of Leroy Jenkins, let's do this.
Yep.
Leroy Jenkins.
There you go, Steve.
Early prediction is a Grey Knight loss.
I'm gonna go against the grain here, and I'm gonna say a Grey Knight sweeping victory by tabling the Slaanesh army.
Ooh, fancy. And by Slaanesh army, do you mean only the Slaanesh models, or the knights as well?
No, I think just the demonettes, and he's gonna ignore the Havocs and the Knight completely.
Game plays out. There's 2 things that are going to happen. I feel like the Grey Knight is just going to hide and prevent the Slaanesh opponent from killing anything. The Slaanesh opponent will more than likely get hold more. However, I feel the Grey Knight will get kill more every turn at the moment. as it stands. The Grey Knights did mark for death. Do we know what he marked for death?
Yes.
I'm sure he marked the Havocs and. That's a good question.
Like Grey Knight player mark the Epitome, the 2 War Dogs, and the what's that? SYLESSKE.
Celeste,
Yeah, Celeste.
the Demon Prince.
Yep. Hey,
Okay,
Skari,
interesting. And
who do
then
you
also
predict
King-
winning? You said Grey Knights, and what was the score?
No, I predict Slaanesh victory.
Okay, because they got to go first. What do you think the score's gonna be?
The score?
Yeah.
24 to like 18.
All right, Doug, who do you think's gonna win?
Grey Knights 37-9.
All right, hold on. 37-9. We're writing these down.
37-9.
I'm gonna go with Grey Knight as well. It's gonna be a closer game, 24-22. And
Cody.
You're all ganging up on me here. What is this
I'm gonna
now?
have to go with the Slaanesh army on this one. I'm gonna say it's gonna be real close. It's gonna be 19 to 7.
That's right, 2 and 2. We're gonna definitely we're gonna make a wager out of this as much as we can.
I got some pretty cool stuff that we're actually doing.
Well, here's the secret, Skari. What we didn't tell you is that Mark is actually a ringer, and he's gonna pull his mask off, and he's really Nick Nanavati.
Let me fix all this, guys.
What?
When we say brown magic, we mean infiltration style. The concept, but it seems like the execution is lacking here. Game predictions.
2 out of 10.
Had it.
Question mark Mitch. Like, what does that even mean? Is that code?
I think somebody in the room
only-
just got activated.
Well, in either case, the best part about this right now is that we can't see what Dennis is doing.
Oh, really?
So it is going to be
That's true.
a secret.
There you go.
It's, thank you.
Well, he's moving up the board.
I would have
could-
never expected Slaanesh to move up the table so quickly.
So, actually, you know, it looks like none of the Grey Knights are deployed inside that building. They're all on the other side. So, really, by walking straight up that way, he's gonna, like, his opponent's gonna have a hard time shooting at that unit next turn without, or you know, with too many of it, with too much of his forces.
Agreed.
So knowing that there are only 5 characters in the Land Raider, clearly, obviously, if they all get out, they'll be targetable unless the Land Raider's in front of them. So do you think he's going to try to like put the Land Raider between the 2 characters, all the characters and the Knights, or what do you think's
Oh, there's
the strategy?
a big line of sight blocking building. The Knight player doesn't have like any out of line of sight shooting, so I don't think it's necessary for him to worry about that. He just has to stay hidden right now and then wait till the Slaanesh demons sort of like bounce off the Land Raider in close combat, and then get out of the Land Raider and stop beating them up.
Ah,
But you said he had servitors as well,
Correct. 2 squads of 5.
which I'm assuming are his engineers.
Correct.
The big risk here is the Slaanesh army moving up quick enough to just murder his engineers and deny him all those points.
Correct.
Maybe this game will be determined in 2 turns, you feel like?
But it depends on how much damage those Slaanesh demons do when they get there. If he just puts the pressure on and gets very aggressive and gets a couple of kills, and then the demon player just cannot get like kill more, hold more,
Right.
instead of just to kill more, I feel like it'll sort of just turn around real quick for the Slaanesh player. And then as soon as the demon player kills a unit of demons, as soon as the Grey Knight player kills a unit of demons with Grey Knights, and the demon player can just bring them back, that's like, it's just game over right there.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
see
as
the
we were
strategy
talking
now.
earlier,
the sleeper in servitors are going to be the ones who finish the last wounds on the demons. That way they can't resurrect, right?
That's the ideal scenario, yes.
Well, and like you brought up, Skari, the knight has moved farther away so that he can shoot.
So I've been
Yeah,
talking,
so-
I've been talking with Mark about his list because I'm an inspiring Grey Knight player, and Mark has said that routinely when Knights charge his Land Raider, he just gets all of those Grandmasters out and characters out, and with Force Halberds, Sanctuary, and he's able to really destroy a Knight in one turn.
I can see that for sure. You know, the Grey Knight close combat potential, as well as the ability to do mortal wounds with, you know, on 4+. You know what I mean? So it's not just the damage. You're doing a mortal wound per unit that can cost their mini smites, right?
Right.
So MSU works really well for them for that. And then you have the ability for them to just run in and do some close combat and just shoot it, or like combat it to death, which also helps. But as we can see here, the Slaanesh player has sort of moved up. He's now in control of the central part of the central objective, which you know, is not going to be going away anytime soon.
This isn't the mission where the objectives disappear every turn.
I don't think so. I don't think it's the mission that ignores invulnerable saves in the middle of the table either.
Well, what about, remember when you'd always roll for whatever the mysterious objective was?
Oh my god.
And then you're like, all right, I got 2 guys left. All right, mysterious objective, sabotage.
Yeah, and then your opponent would immediately be like, listen, all y'all, it's a sabotage. And it's like, I hate you.
I've never had anybody do that, but now I know that I'm glad that I never had anybody do that.
Yeah. There's the reason we all went to 30K for a while.
Them fool, what's up, man? I think that's JT. Back to you. Good to hear from you, bro.
Oh, is that JT Teets? What's up, man? That guy plays Black Templars also.
Love it. I love it. A fellow zealous crusader.
Like, he's kept the faith for a long time.
He really has. No doubt.
Faith and Fury.
OG Templars, man. Works like a charm.
It was the very first army I got painted when I started playing.
I think a lot of us that started around that 3rd edition time had Black Templar armies because that's what was on the box set.
Well, not only that, but when their codex or when their supplement or whatever came out,
Armageddon.
and they,
Oh
yeah,
I remember some of the shenanigans I used to pull with that, like running a Calexis assassin next to them so they could all be leadership 7, so they would be more likely to fail their leadership test to run forward at you. Because if they fail their leadership test, they would run towards you.
Yes,
And
no, that was-
if they touched you, they counted as charging,
Oh my
which was
God.
awesome.
it was dumb.
It was pretty silly
I still
at
have
the
my
time.
old Emperor Champion model. The one holding the two-handed sword.
Yeah, that's the one I use. Good old Games Day one, or
Oh, yeah.
whatever it was. This is still the one I use to this day.
And he's so tiny.
He got better too.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got much better. He has a -1 to be hit in close combat built in, and he has an extra attack.
The Grey Knight player's psychic phase is going swimmingly. He's killed a total looks like 7 demonettes and has perils twice.
Wow. That well, considering against demons, their smites do 3 damage straight. You know, and because it's a Grey Knight detachment, it goes off on 4+. Then again, it's only 12 inches, so they have to be really close for the psychic powers to go off.
Isn't it
Smites.
double range with the brother
Yeah, the
captain?
brother
right there?
captain gets a 24.
Yeah, so they'd be a little bit further than that for sure.
I mean, I did say that the Grey Knights were going to win 37 to to 9. So
Hey, is it accurate to say that the Grey Knights went?
It's over 9,000!
You guys hear that?
I don't. No.
Dang it! All right.
Nope.
Trying to fix it.
We might be seeing a game that might go to full 6 turns here.
Well,
I mean,
if turn 1 you don't
6
do
turns in like 30
anything, then
Ladies and gentlemen, the shortest tournament game you've ever witnessed in your life. One Grey Knight versus the entire Slaanesh army.
This is probably the fluffiest game you'll ever see at a tournament.
and are both of these guys having fun? I have to know.
Oh yeah.
They better be having fun if they're playing with Grey Knights and Slaanesh.
I don't see how. I mean, how can you be having fun if you're not like angry about it? You know, like around, you know, stakes are high and.
Okay, here's a question for you all. Have you ever had somebody try and drink a drink out of a straw while being angry at you?
I never have, but now I want to try that myself.
So try, like, if you have a straw near you, or somebody with a straw, look at them angrily while you drink out of a straw. It's impossible.
You can always try the old,
To keep it
you know, you come over to this side of the bar and say that, and then you lean over and put your lips around it. Yeah, it doesn't work. Can't look tough.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a straw. I'll be right back. No, I'm serious. I think I got one.
So, if you were what would you collect? Like,
I don't know. Is this a trick question? I feel like
no
maybe
trick
it's
question.
Not allowed. Like,
Why wouldn't it not be
like
allowed?
soul stones from the Eldar card. Ah, boom.
So that
be
you
here all
wouldn't get
weekend.
stuck up by Slaanesh. He will. He will. You have a score? Seem to have lost some of the people talking. Oh no, there we go. We're back. We are back and better than ever. So,
Hey, Tiger 20P, lists are on our better information panel. So check it out. You should be able to pull them on your phone when you go to Twitch. Click on your Twitch app. You look at the stream.
Demo Fool
and
says
then-
that the music is super loud.
Yep. Fixing that too. You click on info on your app and you should be. Oh, it's not pulling up there. If you go to the website, you should be able to pull up all the lists for this weekend, or actually just for the game.
The better information panel is a direct Twitch widgety thingy. That's mostly on the website side of the things.
By the way, I could not find a straw, so this question is going to remain unanswered for a little while.
Okay.
This challenge does suck.
I'm really excited to try this out.
Yeah, you have to get a good friend and be like, you have to be angry, and I'm going to be angry at you, and then just suck out of a straw, and you will both crack up instantly. So funny.
Where would you like what bar would you say would be the best, like a dive bar or like
Biker. Yeah, biker bar.
The touchback.
I'm not a frequenter of many bars. Well, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm painting this Grav Energy Hulk Turquoise, which is a cool bluey turquoisey color, and it goes really well with the red of the gun casings and the Black Templar colors. Mm-hmm.
Wait, you painted the gun casings red also?
Black Templars, like OG Black Templar style.
That's like when GW painted everything red, like Ultramarines with red gun casings.
Oh, yeah. Just shows I'm a 3rd edition child, that does. Okay, so it seems like most of those demonists just died.
Yes, all
And
of
they
them
all
but
just
2.
died.
He did spend 2 command points
Yeah.
to keep them around. He rolled leadership for the Havocs with las cannons. He did actually fail it, spent another command point, and was able to pass.
And so it seems like the Grey Knights are going to be in a bit of a better situation at this point. However, failing to kill something this turn did stop him from keeping up the track there.
Yes.
How did he lose las cannons? Like how were they able to be?
The Land Raider probably
Yes.
with the Astral.
Oh,
Aim.
Astral Aim. I'm stupid. I knew that.
Mhm.
So bad.
Yes, you did.
You picked him
No,
to
wait a
win.
minute.
That's wow.
This makes me angry. I'm gonna. Oh God, I don't have a straw. Damn it. So mad right now.
This.
So
We believe in you.
So whose turn is it? Is it still
the top
the Grey
of
Knight
turn
shoot?
2.
Okay.
It is now the Slaanesh player's turn.
Yes.
Okay. Move that knight farther away. That's a great idea.
Need the pressure of the knight at all. No, the sarcasm. He should definitely be running that knight up.
Yep. Make
One
sure
of the
that
few
it's
things in that army that doesn't suffer from the minus the 3 damage from the smites.
not only that, but he gives reroll 1s to the war dogs, and he's not near the war dogs.
That is also true. Although if he can get that mirror in, the only thing is those servitors are pretty safe in there because other than the Slaanesh demonettes, he should have let the demonettes die and then just brought them back. Oh no, because then it would be
died to
morale, so you could. Correct. So smart. So I guess smart played, so you can bring them back later. But now the engineers are going to start kicking in, so they should both get most of their engineer points. The Slaanesh player went for gangbusters. Why? That's impossible
Paladins.
for him to get.
No, paladins, right?
There are no paladins. I didn't see any paladins in his list.
I think he's got 10.
He does have 10 paladins?
I thought so. They could just be normal Terminators.
Grandmaster Voldus, Strike Squad, Strike Squad, Strike Squad. Land Raider, 3 by the captains, and then the weird Vanguard detachment.
It's the weirdest.
It could be the fact that there's, paladins in the, but you need 3 or more wounds, so it'd have to be paladins, right?
Yes.
Paladins with 3 wounds? Yeah.
Yes.
So you'd have to have at least 15 paladins in 3 units of 5 then.
Well, I mean,
Oh no, it'd be 1 unit of paladins and then the 2 units of servitors.
Are servitors 3 wounds apiece?
No, but for the Vanguard detachment.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. That's not too shabby. At least are they in Deep Strike then, the paladins? Ah, okay. So, knowing that, I feel like the Grey Knights might win. The Slaanesh player
Are
has
you
deployed.
changing your prediction?
Yep. Piecemeal, and the Grey Knights are definitely gonna just crush the Slaanesh army as it comes in 1 unit by 1 unit, and this knight is useless.
So
he's not.
So since Skari's changing his prediction, I want to change mine.
Request denied.
I think that the Chaos player has a grand plan that he has not shared yet, that he's just waiting to spring the trap.
I would agree
And
with
so-
that as well.
It'll be Chaos 30 to Grey Knights 15.
Huh.
Cody, what was your score again?
Mine was chaos 19 to 17.
It's possible that the knight is zoning out paladins for some reason.
Yeah, but that is true, actually. It could be that he's just not, like, that knight is completely useless right now. And, you know, maybe the knight will kill some paladins later, but I seriously doubt it.
No, the knight is doing nothing. It should have moved in advance turn 1. The war dog should have moved in advance, and then turn 2 he should have been charging.
Yeah, I got these Centurions secondhand, and I just noticed that all the Hurricane Bolters on them have been magnetized.
As you're painting them?
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I can totally run them with rocket launchers if I wanted to at some point.
I mean, what, did you just like push your brush against the Stormbolter and it just fell off?
No, one of the magnets, the super glue came out, so it just like fell off, and I was like, oh wait, that's a magnet. Needless to say, that is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, because a lot of times when I get secondhand stuff, it's like completely trashed, put together with like buckets of super glue and, paint caked on. Anything like that was already magnetized secondhand.
Yeah, well, it's my friend Matt who does a lot of really cool hobbying converting. He built a list for 7th edition that was like 9 assault centurions in one of the big Spartan assault tanks or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so 8th came out. He started playing AdMech, so he was getting rid of some stuff. So I got my hands on his Devastator Centurions. So it was not misused or caked or anything. It was in good shape.
These weren't eBay rescues.
Definitely not eBay rescues. I would usually rather gouge my own eyes out.
Especially now that everything's plastic. I mean, like, I've never had a good experience buying plastic on eBay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so back to the game here. We've got the characters, basically the main Slaanesh characters running in. Seems like the Slaanesh mirror's trying to get close and stuff, and he's got demonettes going in. He's probably going to try to kill some of those servitors if I would know anything about what he's trying to do, because killing the servitors would deny the engineer points, and if he can kill the engineers and keep his alive, I think that would be huge. He should be moving, like, honestly, his all of his havocs should be moving into the middle of the table.
I agree with that.
Not keeping them on the forest. Is that a forest that he's technically in? Like that little thing that he's on with the havocs?
Cover for infantry.
But is it a forest? Like, does it have the -2 to charge as well?
That I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Like a crater equivalent, essentially?
I'm going to say probably not.
Probably they haven't discussed it before the game, is what I would assume.
I would say that, ignoring that aside, does the epitome have the gem?
Maybe. I don't know. I would certainly see it as a good idea to have the gem.
Because if he can turn off one of those characters and then also get the servitors, that would be really good.
That is very true as well. But he probably wouldn't turn off the characters until his own turn, I would say.
Right. But like turning off one of those brother captains and keeping the other one out of position for the longer range smites or whatever would be really good.
Do they have to be within 3 inches of him?
No, the gem is like 12 inches.
For the smites, I mean, for the double range, does he have to be within 3 inches? Or does he have to be within
3 or
6?
6? I think it's 6. So it'll be tough. He really needs to like smite one or snipe one out of there, but I don't know that he can.
Characters? No, I doubt he'll be able to kill those Grey Knight characters. And as soon as those paladins arrive, that's when the party's gonna start.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he acts to that. However, if he does kill those engineers, that'll be, because Celeste or whatever attacks twice, right? So
Yes.
if Celeste got in there, can essentially murder both units of servitors without breaking a sweat.
Well, Celeste attacks twice and has like a billion attacks or something
Yes.
like that.
Well, it has like 10 attacks with one weapon and 10 attacks with another weapon, or 8 attacks with one and 8 with another. So it's, and gets to pile in and attack twice and all this good stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if Celeste is going to be doing most of the work in that corner until the smites just kill it.
Yeah, I mean, and the other, you got to be careful too. Like he could be going, murdering Grey Knight characters, but they all get to fight on death too.
Yeah. Well, one of them will.
Well, right, but he'll attack one, kill it, and then it'll fight and kill him before he gets to
Attack
pile in
again.
and get
Correct. Yeah.
That, and he also took, I
That's
think, about
really-
5 wounds from Overwatch for one of the last games.
From what?
One of the last games from Overwatch, the Land Raider.
Oh, he charged the land
He
Raider?
charged the Land Raider?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Don't act like you're surprised with the
Oh,
Raiders.
That's true. That you're literally they're just gonna gate out of there and it's gonna be fine. They're just trying to stop the Land Raider from shooting, but Grey Knights have gate, and gate is amazing with a Land Raider.
Especially with a +1 to cast.
Yep.
Ugh. Well, on the other hand, again, if he does gate the Land Raider, it won't be able to show up near the Knight because of the way he's zoned.
And the real strategy comes out.
Maybe he's forcing the Land Raider to gate so that he wouldn't even force the Land Raider to gate because they could just smite the Land Raider out of combat.
Yes.
Even then.
I think
Good
this is
morning.
one of those. I think this is one of those situations where we don't understand the level of tactical genius that we're seeing.
Witnessing at the moment.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that is more than likely true. We are but humble players that know not the ways of Slaanesh.
True. And Hive Mind Television, thanks for following the channel. Appreciate it. Got much more games in store for today, right, Cody?
Yes, sir.
You know what they say: those that can do, and those that can't shoutcast games.
It's true.
And
I think that's an accurate assessment. And paint?
Well, I mean, I'm painting an Iron Warriors Terminator right now.
Ooh. I like the new Iron Warriors rules. I really like the ability to use cultists as meat shields.
I like that.
I
entire
actually-
book. It's so good.
It is a fun book.
I just really like the new Chaos models, and I've always liked Chaos, and
I feel ya. That's why I've got my host Raptoral I've been painting up, because I just love Raptors. They're utter garbage, but man, they're fun.
So now after they finish up a unit in close combat, you can say, that's a wrap.
I will now, from now on, yes.
wow.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Oh, hold on a minute. Something's happening. The epitome is about to get smoked
I
here.
did that.
Let's turn it into the
Oh,
players.
they're not saying anything.
I can't hear them. I certainly can't hear them.
you can't hear the players. You gotta, you can't just listen to the players. You gotta hear them.
They can't hear.
That's right. Everybody else can.
Well, I mean, everybody else on the floor there can. I don't know if the folks in Twitch
Stream can. That's the beautiful thing about the first stream of the day. You get to troubleshoot everything, right? And then you kind of get it all set up for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we're like the morning show.
Morning show. Except without all the... Well, actually, no, that's a lie. We do have the cool recipes and the witty guests.
Yeah, like...
And the most dedicated audience on the planet.
Our audience is really dedicated, and Blue Canary wants to remind us that the epitome doesn't care about smites.
That is true. 2+ deny for mortal wounds, so that's not too shabby. Then again, it'll get beaten up in combat pretty good, though. And you can't really fall back from it. I think the ability to just hold stuff in close combat is super, super powerful. And one of the most important things about the new books as well is the fact that they have, like, even in Faith and Fury, there's so many different ways to keep units in close combat as well.
I really like that. I think that's good that I think that's good that they're adding all that stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah, that point sort of made itself, I guess. I was just trying to bandwagon on your testimony of keeping things locked in combat.
Well, it's as a Dark Eldar player, with I use witches a lot of the time to do my dirty work, holding stuff in close combat, especially infantry. But Faith and Fury has opened that option up for Chaos Space Marines. Have the ability to do that now with a couple of different strats. The Black Templars have a way to do that as well, like hold people up in close combat, which is really cool. So it's something that I feel like the way that the game is kind of going, they're encouraging the bringing back of like the original screens that you had, because you can have like first turn charges and things like that again. However, they're also sort of encouraging the ability for armies to sort of tie up those screens. So it's not like a guarantee that you want to protect from that charge, but the chargers can sort of stay safe from the rest of your army. So it's like a win-loss for both sides, essentially.
Well, I think it's promoting the idea that you need a more balanced army instead of just like a shooting gun line. And if you do bring a shooting gun line, an assault army, has a little bit more tricks to avoid getting shot off the table.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I understand why assault can be very powerful. You get twice as many activations as like a shooting phase or a movement phase. You know what I mean? Like you get to fight in your turn and your opponent's turn. So in terms of unit effectiveness, close combat has the potential to be more effective, except the attrition is usually worse, and then people can just like shoot you, right? And then you just die.
Well, right, especially since you can just fall back without any penalty.
Right. So we'll see. It seems like 9th edition is going to be on its way. As the year kind of continues, and things seem to point to the fact that they are going to be switching gears. So we'll see what sort of rules mechanics they add into the new edition.
Like bring vehicle facings back.
That's actually something I don't miss at all.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I don't miss that either.
Makes the game so much faster, not having to worry about, which way is that pointing, and did I get your rear armor if I move there? No, you didn't. Yes, I did, but you nudged it. No, yes, it's not. No, just shoot at the damn tank already.
And let's all be honest, we all hated the fact that the Thunderhawk had rear armor 10.
Get it in close combat, right?
Yeah.
Always hit it on rear armor. That used to be a rule.
That was a bad rule for like dreadnoughts.
No, dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts fought their front armor unless they were
Dreadnoughts always
immobilized.
fought their front. Yeah, unless they were like they stopped you from doing that. Then again, I did play.
That wasn't the initial rule though.
Was it not?
No.
I just remember you couldn't put grenades on him either.
Oh, you're not gonna do.
Only on 6s or something. Grenades only worked on 6s on dreadnoughts because it wouldn't let you put a grenade on them,
Yes.
essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna see if we can hear
so
the players real quick one time. And you guys in Discord, Skari and Doug, you probably won't be able to hear them. But let me see if we can hear them in the actual stream. So boost their
I
volume.
have a feeling like we'll keep on talking to each other though, which will be
Fun.
which will be fun. Yeah. Iron Hands. What do you think about the Iron Hands Obliterators with the ability to like control their like rolls on their random dice again?
I literally just bought some. That's like I read that for that rumor or whatever, and I went and bought some obliterators like immediately.
Yeah, I feel like that and the ability to use cultists to keep them alive is going to be useful.
Yep, I don't care. I get
Yeah,
the first
although
choice.
You get
really
the first choice.
I'm just
And we're
painting.
gonna take Drago.
I like the
At that guy.
Okay.
I like the way the silver looks.
It's more of an aesthetics thing.
So,
Yeah, well, plus
6 attacks.
I can just pretty much use them as anything.
2's re-rolling.
It's
and
true.
with Hammer hand, it'll be 2's re-rolling.
I normally play.
But it's chaos after all.
All
Right.
of
Well,
them.
I normally am a World Eaters or Corn player at heart, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to paint all my stuff red anymore.
6 at -4.
Okay, so 6, 5.
There's too many there's too many things that I'm like, oh man, I want that guy to be Mark Nurgle today or whatever, you know.
And
Look
they
at
are
all those
flat
ones.
3 each.
Right.
15.
It's the same as like a Space Marine chapter. I feel like the best way to play Space Marines is to have like a random sort of like a random chapter
Now I get to choose.
and,
I don't pick the 2 demoness.
and just
They're gonna
play
fight
to
the
that
server.
so that you can
Maybe I can kill a squad.
you can kind of make it whatever you want as time
Here we
goes.
go.
So now
Three.
we'll
Right,
make
and then
3.
people don't get
Yep,
upset at you
I'm
for
Alright.
Sixes are still on.
jumping
I got
rules as
1
much.
6 and 2
One
Yeah.
dead,
ones.
Yeah.
2 dead.
Because then you get the other person that's like, that's not an Ultramarine paint job, and you're like,
guess the
I know.
minor.
I know it's not an Ultramarine paint
I
job.
have the Grandmaster.
Yeah, but it
5
just
attacks.
when Death
Oh,
Guard
wait, I'm
and
not dead yet.
Thousand Suns
Let me put them back. I thought, yeah.
when they got redone, the thought was that World Eaters and Emperor's Children were right around the corner, so I didn't want to take a chance painting some of the Chaos units and then find out that they wouldn't be eligible for that anymore.
And wounding on 3s, rerolling
Right.
everything to your D.
Like Death Guard lost Havocs and
4.
Obliterators and stuff.
Oh
Yep.
my god.
But got Flamer boys.
I am
They
shocked.
do. I do like those.
I tried to
They're
pick
pretty
them
strong.
up.
But it looks like the Epitome died,
End of the fight
and
phase. I got
I'm going to go
Havoc.
ahead and say that it was
I'll
killed by
spend 3 command
smites.
points to fight him again because I want them out of
Either
there.
that,
No,
yeah,
fair
it
enough.
must have been.
I wasn't.
I want them out of
It's
there, Dan.
that's a lot of mortal wounds. Well, no, it has 8 wounds, so it'd be.
Commander says 5.
Well, by
hard
being right
pressed
in the
to
front
get
there, I mean,
close, so.
it pretty much is the only thing that he could have smited. So if he was casting powers,
So
he
5,
might as well
5
have
up.
taken a shot.
See what we can do. Small straight. Does that count for anything?
They've still got plenty of time.
Now I get to pick them up.
So it's not
Okay.
like you're like,
You
I'm
got
not going
rid
to roll
of-
these
well,
dice.
Most of my side of the army.
Okay.
You must have
I
rolled all
got
the dice
2
for that.
for death.
Yes, you did.
Killed.
You definitely killed more.
Yeah,
Killed
so
more.
it says it's Mark's turn,
Yep.
but he just moved his character over there by the building. I don't know if it's going to turn 3 if we're at turn 3 now.
They are scoring right now. And let's take a look at the live scores real quick.
Yeah.
Currently, it is 5-4. Mark behind by 1 point.
Did the engineers get murdered?
He doesn't like me.
I don't think so.
Mark did score 1 point. Oh, they're updating scores still. So Mark is ahead by 1 point now. 2 points. We are seeing this live, like you guys.
3.
We got a long way to go to get to 37, so like Mark needs to pick it up.
Apparently, that's right. Let's take a look at our predictions.
Okay.
He does need to pick it up. Come on, Mark. I believe in you, buddy.
So Doug
You
predicted
got this.
what, 37-9? Ouch.
Well, if he tables him next turn, I think he's still got it.
We're gonna spread out a little bit more.
Now
Way to go.
remember, the Grey Knight player went out for Kingslayer on
So
that
cover
night.
each
so
of the spots
you
you
think
might
maybe he's
go.
going to try to put a bunch of stuff around and try to get that this turn?
until you
or
actually drop
you
down.
think he's going to try to play the smart play and probably kill out all the havocs?
I think he can kill the Havocs and then go off to the Knight.
This one.
I think what happens is he's going to kill the rest of the army, and the Knight's just going to phase out, like a la 3rd edition Necrons.
Nice.
Okay.
Everyone remembers
I
that.
think Grey
What's
Knight's-
your phase out?
Oh, that's way back there. Okay.
Oh man, that was the
War
question
Dog
to
number 1 is
ask.
just gonna move. Come back to here.
You know,
When
Should be-
Necrons was still
Yeah.
stealing IP from the Terminator.
Is that the Warlord? This
We'll be
Well,
back.
Okay.
and when they only had like
So
3
no one got
units.
Sanctuary this turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, everybody remember Prize?
That's
Who doesn't
right.
remember Prize?
That is right.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't, like the Lich Guard and the Praetorians kind of like, sort of, took some of their design cues, but
It was a whole like lore thing for the Necrons that they just sort of like dismissed. It was like a whole lore section of them trying to create like new Necrons essentially, and then pariah gene people that they hunted all across the galaxy, and that sort of like just disappeared.
3 shots.
I was really hoping they were going to come
Yeah.
back sometime. and
Just
give
3
the
shots,
Psychic Awakening.
But I gotta
thing.
be able to see you.
Range like 8 feet.
Yeah, well, I guess the Necrons haven't been released just yet, so anything can happen.
they're going to get Necron doctrines.
You the middle-ish there.
Or, oh man, what if Necron
I
Warriors go
like
to
the
2
way
wounds?
I'm kind of spread out to block.
Wow.
I can see a
Except for I
Mortal
just
going
wanted
to
8
2
shots.
wounds.
I
That would
think
be
for every
spicy.
immortal, you should get 2 Necron Warriors for free.
I don't
This
think
Demoness is gonna be in
that's good
trouble.
enough. I think 2
Okay,
warriors
well, we'll just
and
go
a
with this. I
scout.
have no more psychic phase.
That I would do, yeah.
So we'll fire our thermal spear into.
And they would all have to be in the
The
same
Warlord, you
unit
mean, right?
also
I don't.
to trigger the mixed,
You're right. I
mixed
can see
armor
him.
rules.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it as
We'll go for the Warlord.
Alright.
I didn't think I could see him, but looking down, you're right. I can. Okay. Thermal spear is a
So,
D3 shot.
What's happening? The
3
Knight
shots.
didn't move at all. This
Hitting on
this
3s.
War Dog
Hitting on
moved
3s. It'd be
down
better if I
to
kept
protect the
a
Havocs or
Desecrator
something
by
for
him,
some
but I'm trying to
reason.
play that. Oh my.
Yes, and is now firing a thermal spear.
Even if I was reroll ones, that would not matter. Oh
guess
my
with
gosh.
that character that's
That is a
out in the
horrible
open
roll.
there.
3 whiffs from him to the Warlord.
The 3 what? 3
3
what?
whiffs.
3 whiffs. Yeah, yeah.
It's the
3
beautiful
whiffs.
thing about
Okay,
one-shot, like
okay with
weapons
that.
like meltguns.
I'm laughing about
He
it.
got the 3 shots.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That's. I got nothing else to shoot because that's like 30, and these guys are only 24, so I can only get to like here. So, I have no assaults because you're not close. So,
And to this
bottom
point,
of 3, I get hold
I
one.
realized that Slaanesh was against him.
Alright, and engineers.
And engineer, that's where I'm marking all my points now.
Do this correctly here.
Hey, Jason, you're getting an echo from the players. I mean, we can't hear it, but
So
or
Yeah.
Skari,
You guys
Skari and I
can
can't hear it.
29 and 28 and a half, so he's going to have to be
we can't,
closer
no.
more.
JT is saying that you got a terrible echo from the players.
I made a change. I'm trying to fix some things. How is it now?
About
Yep, echo.
about
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Could you hear me before when I wasn't talking?
All right. targets are finally showing up.
I'm gonna deep strike these guys into this corner.
Am I telepathic
No.
communications getting through to you?
Can't shoot there.
It's. Could you say it's a psychic awakening?
Oh, I like what you're saying here.
I don't understand how the Grey Knight player only has 7 points. Like, Mark's my winning horse here, and
Cool.
You don't have an interceptor strategy, right?
I have 3.
I do not.
Chivalry, I think.
My thing is weather the
So
fire.
one thing about running into like random lists and stuff at events, they either are a player that doesn't really
this guy's
care
9
about
inches
winning,
away
or
from
they're a
both of
player
them?
that knows exactly what they're doing.
Oh, you're bringing everybody? Okay.
That's
I have
like
to.
a,
Turn 3.
Well, you could have put them elsewhere on the board.
I just
I'm gonna clean this
blanked.
stuff up over here.
Okay.
And Andrew Gagnon.
Ganyu. He's actually at this event.
Yes, he is.
I got to play him at ATC. That was really fun.
How'd that go?
I beat him.
Oh.
Dark Eldar did well against his Caladius grab tanks.
Well, real quick here, I was just informed by the powers above that we will be giving away some of these sweet objective
All right.
markers from the Renegade.
Hey!
I'm just
So
gonna
that's
kinda
3 squads?
Throw it under the camera here in front of
Yep,
everybody.
and
One, two, the big. Yeah.
Nice little guys right there.
Are we eligible for one of these?
I was getting there.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Psychic phase.
I have no more denies, so this is all you.
Aim the
Sorry.
Land Raider. I gotta make sure I do this correctly. Start with boldest. Astral aiming the Land Raider.
Going on.
Looking for
Another thing is,
four
if
on the
anybody
dice.
has been watching the
You got it on the
Mandalorian,
dice.
it's amazing.
Oh my god. I
Hey.
haven't watched episode 3 yet.
That
but
+1 on Grey
I'm
Knights
super
helps
pumped.
so much.
It's exciting. And if you're going to spoil it for anybody, get out of here right now.
Yes, we will
People
put it
are-
in the chat.
Oh, and then you're going to tell
So-
us.
So
Yes.
nobody yell at me,
Mine is
but I
Sanctuary.
don't have Disney Plus yet.
That's fair. I mean, you're wrong, but it's fair.
And
Warp
Yeah.
gate time.
Nobody will
he's
judge
going
you
to
in
gate.
your face.
I already feel, like when I'm walking down the street, I can see people already, like they can tell. Yeah.
The other
They can
Grand
tell you
Master.
haven't seen the Mando
Okay, so
yet.
Voldus is
Yeah.
gating.
Mhm.
Which one?
The other Grand Master.
I just
I don't know which
picture
one
it's
that
like
is.
playing The
They're all
Sims.
shiny.
You have a little bubble
The one
over
with
your
the red
head
shoulder
that has
pad.
a
Okay.
little tear emoji and all that. Everyone just knows that you're like
It goes
not as
off.
good as everybody
It
else
goes
right
off. So where is he gating to?
That's probably fair.
Gate.
Right in my face? Oh, no, just barely enough.
Right in the middle of that.
You know the thing that you eventually get
Okay,
good
any
at with
hammer
lots of
hands going
practice?
out?
Painting white
Oh,
shoulder
that's-
pads
that's
from a
very
black
done.
base coat.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure. What
We
white
are
do you
going to
prefer
go
to
to
use?
Drago.
I've been using
Cast
Army
hammer
Painter,
hand on that guy.
Oh, on the
but
front
it's
guy. Ooh.
but it's a combination. Like I start
Actually,
with
the
a
Celtics
like
will cast
a
hammer hand on
lighter,
themselves.
like a gray,
Ow,
like an
no.
astronomican gray,
Goes off on an
or administratum gray, or whatever.
It's on the
I
board
do a
already.
couple of light coats of a very, very light gray, and then I kind of build it up to like a white, and I do multiple very, very thin coats, almost watered down coats. And then I do a wash, and then I do more white
After my
coats.
last command point,
Man,
3 dice pick the highest 2.
it's worth it at the end of the day. So it still looks a little dirty, but it's like the wash makes it dirty
Wow.
white, which
I
kind
haven't
of
seen that
like
actually
gives it
ever
a
cast.
worn look. So it's not like I'm trying
That's
too
why
hard.
I've never seen it cast.
Well, we need an 8.
We wouldn't
need
want
a 7
that.
on the dice to cast
Oh,
it, but
okay.
on an 11 plus.
Well, otherwise,
D6
layering
moves
up
to
like
him.
5,000
Oh,
layers of
everything
white
within
is
3
just
inches of him.
an exercise in frustration.
12?
Mm. Yep.
It goes off on a 9, so he takes D3 more.
Some would say
How
it's
many
like
is it
a
gonna
blank
be?
canvas.
I'm
Oh,
happy with
it
it.
looks like a
He is
whole
down
bunch
to
of
11.
Grey Knights just showed up.
This unit,
Yes.
Hooray! The reinforcements have
Oh,
arrived,
all
lads.
units within 3 inches of him.
We're in the
Okay, so
end
this
game
unit
now.
takes 2.
Yep.
Okay,
This squad here
Yeah, so all the strike squads and the paladins.
try again.
takes
There
3.
they are, look.
Ugh.
You can see right
Sliding.
there. Start moving forward.
This blue squad is
Little
going to
demonettes that were
Astral
alive
aim.
not too long ago.
The
Are they no longer
Can
alive?
I think they got
Did you astral
killed
aim
out by
the-
the
Oh, I did. I already cast it. It's
Yeah.
correct.
the servers
Servers.
actually.
It's a mistake. All right, so the
If they did, then that's exactly what he needed to happen, so they don't come back to life.
And I'm not a demon, so to speak.
No, so just one.
Yeah.
Take one.
He's down to 10.
The Moose Squad.
Not looking too good right now.
Down to 9.
Nope.
So here's what's going to happen. Those paladins are going to charge that war dog. It's going to get 3 shots with its melta, and it's going to kill 4 paladins because it has a melta gun on top too in Overwatch.
I am good with that. I have to let you kill yourself because I'm not doing a good job of it.
And then close combat, he'll kill another 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is going to take out half of that paladin unit.
No,
I think that's an accurate assessment of what's about to happen.
Alright, he took 3. He will smite. Take a mortal. He will smite.
Down to 6.
Although Grey Knights do have a fight twice stratagem, so
5.
Line of sight.
He is
part of
actuality.
the night. I can't see because of the building. Can you see it from there?
I cannot see that dude at
He
all.
used his last one for psychic
Not from his
channeling
halberd,
and
dear.
used
no,
vortex
I
to
see that guy. I can see like 3/4 of that guy.
Okay. Fair enough.
well then never mind.
5 left.
Trying to murder all those havocs before he even gets into combat, is he?
He did effectively increase his charge range. Yes.
That's that.
Shooting now.
Well, but in reality, all he has to do is make the charge against the war dog and then just consolidate into the havocs.
Land Raider is out of Drago.
As long as they're within 12 correct, so he can declare them as a
He's
charge.
got the Grandmaster, so it'll be
No, he doesn't have to
at the night.
like so that he doesn't need to swing on him. He just needs to keep him from shooting one turn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried
Right.
about that combat attack.
Well, not the close combat, but if you're right, so you wrap them, and then the knight can't kill the paladins.
Correct.
We all know that knight's gonna
Three.
kill them paladins
-3
anyways.
ignores cover.
3 minus 3, so he will be up
It is
to
completely useless.
5 up.
It's way out of position.
shooting him. Okay, one goes through.
However,
5.
I feel like recon is always a good
Okay,
secondary to take, especially if you're going to be running into the middle of the table.
Yeah, so many
no,
fast units.
This squad lost
And
3
there
already.
goes
So there's a squad of 6 and a squad of 5.
No.
War dog.
A squad
War
of
dog.
5, a squad of 5, and a lord.
All right.
Get that lord here in a minute.
So it seems like he doesn't want to charge, he just wants to blast him.
Yeah, or maybe he did more damage with his smites and such than he thought.
Well, they only do against the knights. They only do 1 damage a pop.
Right, but I don't know if it got shot at it like by the Land Raider before or something.
Well, these are tough 5 havocs.
Oh, 5s. Yep,
Does
yep,
make
correct.
sense.
Or he could have just stormbolted it.
AP?
Nada.
Nada. Okay, 3 up
Hope you
armor.
guys
That also makes
like
sense.
our,
Storm bolted the table.
We'll
our
take 10
guest
from the
artist
squad
Celine
next to him.
Dion. Little My
Yeah.
Heart Will Go On. For that poor dog dying. Holy
Freeze
music,
reroll
that
ones.
exactly what I thought too. Pretty awesome.
That's pretty good. You got
More
some
that will
ones.
come
Wow.
our way.
Into ones. Ones
You
into
mean
ones.
music
You've been preaching that.
or cinematic moments?
Wow. Okay,
Maybe both.
very good.
Musical cinematic moments, like a combination.
We'll take 10 more from this squad then.
I just have to survive.
You can only imagine that paladin being like, "Time to blow this shit up, brothers."
That's a lot.
It's a 5.
Man, this doesn't look good. He must have blown it up with stormbolters, but he's still got more at the havocs.
Yeah,
It's 2
I
ups,
think-
but
Oh, 2 ups, but still
I
one's
think they have a
four.
we
stratagem.
said that granted
Right,
coverage.
right, stratagem, +1 strength, -1 AP.
We'll get rid of the
for
flamer guy.
He didn't use it.
And
So these guys
Yeah,
are
he ran out of
the
command
reroll
points,
range.
casting vortex.
These guys are out of reroll
Never
range,
mind.
Dennis.
okay.
Oh, yeah, the vortex would have taken a chunk out of that war
And
dog
the
too.
front squad or the back
He
squad?
did 1 mortal wound.
16.
You got 2 in the front, 3 in the back. Or you're going to split them up.
No. If they all got range for that back squad, they're all going to that back
I mean,
squad.
in all
Okay.
fairness, we know
Okay.
Dennis is not a
Okay.
superb competitive player.
So here's 20.
So here's the first half.
But
Here's
we
first half.
did this because we love
Looking for
Dennis.
3s and 5s.
And
just gonna pick
We
up
just
my
know this would be
misses.
an entertaining game.
I get you because you don't have a reroll. You want to make sure you got the overkill.
Basically,
Yeah.
painted army.
Well, you got 2
We
up,
wanted to show
so
everyone that you can come to a tournament
I'll
like
be
this
lucky
and still
to
have
kill
fun.
them.
You don't have to bring the most competitive thing.
Yep.
5.
5.
Okay, so this is
And
the
And
first
Bradley
as
directed that
evidence-
comment to them bull JT. So, haha.
Got one.
And by not competitive, you can just look at that knight that's hanging out on, just doing his own thing over there.
Doing what a knight does, sitting in the back and shooting stuff from as far away the front line as possible.
2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sad the fact that
I-
knight hasn't
I
rolled a single
did.
dice.
And you.
Yeah, it's what, turn 3?
Yes. He did one advance.
How many turns?
I apologize.
How many turns did I say that that knight wasn't going to be useful for? 3 turns?
3.
Yeah, you did say 3 turns.
Cannon charge.
I do have a
Up to
shot.
10. I'm within 11, so I'd be within an inch of 10.
Yeah.
Jason, can we turn the music off? You're getting
Rerolling 1.
asked.
You know what? You can't make it all without breaking
Okay.
things, Dennis.
Let me try. 6.
Now, is too much at 9 a.m.? Well, where I am, it's
And if
almost
any of these are
11
within
a.m.
12, we will declare the Lord also.
At Iron Halo, when I asked if we could turn the music off, he said no.
At the
Yeah.
unit.
Usually
Here
it's a
is
lot
needing
lower,
6s,
but
rerolling 1s
someone at
for the
Iron Halo
Overwatch.
was messing with all my
So I got
digital channels, so I gotta figure
2
out how
and 1 reroll.
to fix what
So the
this
1
guy
reroll. No,
Not naming
so
any
just
names.
2.
For 3s.
Looking for. Are they tough 4?
Tough 4.
These will be 2s.
It's possible that
5 Gatling guns.
Oh, strength 5. No, never mind. I was thinking I had
it's
the big
possible that you shouldn't let me near your computer.
3 up.
Yep.
It's alright.
Minus
Good.
1.
We still love you.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I thought they
that
were-
on 828.
Alright, so
Usually
I'm
the
looking for a
music is
10.
pretty low.
If I ever needed a 10 in
the
my
background.
gaming career, Dennis.
We're
is
just
it?
having
No,
some
you don't.
audio problems. I
Nice.
did upgrade to a
10.
digital soundboard and
here's
a
me tipping
Behringer
my hat to
audio
you.
capture device that
Wow,
gives
you'll be
us
fine.
better quality.
No, I'm just
Instead
you
of,
have been doing really
you know,
well on
analog
that. That was a
Type.
clutch roll.
That was a clutch roll.
So we're mixing with
So I'm gonna
messing
pile
with
these guys
that,
up
messing
10,
with
and then
a
I'll
couple
file
things.
in when I'm
So
done making my
obviously,
charges.
thank you for being patient with us, and we do appreciate that. So
We'll have it
This
figured out
Lord
by
is gonna
game
try to make
6.
his 9-inch charge.
yeah,
to these
or if
guys.
not Monday, for sure.
Hey,
What, Tuesday?
Nope.
He doesn't
And
see them.
out of the reroll range.
hey,
so,
Cody.
Yes.
but then outside these
Those
guys
those
back.
L's look like they've been
They don't see him either.
nudged
They're
a little
like,
bit.
"Why are you going over there?"
See what we can do about that.
See? They
Make
don't
sure
see
you
it, they
make
can't
sure
hit
you
it.
yellow card both players.
Oh, they don't like us using it as a backboard.
That's right. and make it loud enough so everybody can hear.
I'll make sure to
And I
grab
guess
the
I
big boom
should.
mic
No, I
and
did it too late. Unless you want me to
throw
allow
it down
You
on the table.
go ahead and
hard.
dial in.
We will heroically intervene.
Who might
Because he's a character.
use it as a
Anyway.
weapon. Swing it around.
And these guys
You
all
think
have
you
different
can
charges,
mess
so they
with
count
our
as the net,
terrain?
so
Rawr.
whichever one you. Well, you only get one charger, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so now the
these
Terminators have
Okay.
3 attacks base.
charged
attack,
the
he gets a 4.
Havocs.
Okay.
He has a 5th
Yeah, I needed a
attack for the
10,
charge.
and that's exactly
Okay.
what he rolled.
And he's
Hitting
going
on 2s.
He's going at the squad.
He's going up. I can't go out the character.
Oh, because he's not there.
Declare.
Okay, you're
And
right.
things just
So, I
get
hit
better
on
and better.
2s. That's his base weapon skill.
Now,
Right.
Skari, how do you think
All of
that
them. And with
Dennis can
Hammerhand,
pull
he's
out of
hitting
this
on
one
4s.
as Chaos player?
2 at -2.
2.
So
it'd be 3,
the biggest
5.
thing
Two
is that
5
he
up.
made it hard for himself picking the secondaries
one.
that he did pick.
Yeah, and they're just one wound model.
So now his engineers are in
And then I have
peril. He has to move that knight
32 halberd attacks.
towards the paladins, and he
Oh
has to move the
my.
war dogs towards the paladins.
4.
Who's basically try to get them up as quickly as possible while moving the last unit that he has, the cultist or whatever, on his objective as far away from the paladins as humanly
And-
possible.
Wounding on 3s because they're strength 5, but they're
Now,
hammerhand
and,
plus
um,
1 to wound.
Nice.
I was gonna say what he could also do, since he is infernal, if he warps movement
1, 2,
and then
3,
advances
5,
or tries to advance and charge, he
7
probably
at
can
-2,
get those
D3 damage
paladins
each.
Okay.
because they're going to
I need to
consolidate
make lots
and
of
be a
saves.
little bit
I
closer.
made a bunch.
I
Um,
I don't know. I don't.
failed
That
a
looks
lot,
like
but
it
he
might
was
be
like totally dead.
he might be able to make it.
Okay.
I agree. I think he has to use that knight, and he has to use it aggressively, or else he is going to lose this game.
Bare bones.
Oh yeah, look how much closer now they're coming. So he can have a 14-inch movement plus a d6,
Yeah.
20. So he can go 30. He can get a 32-inch threat range right there for a charge.
Hitting on twos, rerolling ones.
You know, he's got Headhunter, Engineered Gangbuster, so he did kind of force himself to kill, you know, and it kind of helps him in his secondary missions as well. So, you know, hopefully he kind of keeps that in mind and continues to put pressure on the Grey Knights. But he cannot lose his Engineers. If he does, he's going to. That's not good. Another thing is, as a Chaos player, as a Knight player, you should always put points in your list for out of line of sight rockets on your Knights.
AP 0 because it's chainsaw.
Unfortunately, I don't think that particular Knight chassis can take
and
one.
now the Havoc.
That one specifically, no, but just in general. Like, I feel like if you take Knights, you should make sure, or anything really, you need out of line of sight shooting for ITC. And this is a good example of why it's important.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Wow. You're like, no, we're saving that.
Then don't.
Hey, I think that's
Just say I agree. And that's it.
Okay.
Leadership on that guy
Alrighty.
at -4.
I'm gonna sign off for the night. You guys have a good one.
Shoutcast is banned from local tournament shoutcasting.
Pass.
They were yellow carded on stream by the tournament organizers.
Actually,
Given a
by
warning.
the virtual shoutcasters. They handed
Yes,
him
you got one more mark for
virtual,
death. You got your engineers.
Hey, quick question.
Virtual
You kind of know where this game is going.
killed more, but
Obviously,
you
here were our
hold more.
predictions
Correct.
But I
coming into
hold.
it.
So I got kill more, hold.
Doug,
Mark for death and
37-9, looking very realistic right now. So good job, Doug. But you know what? To make this game a little bit faster, Chat,
Also,
give us your opinion real
two
quick.
blues.
We
So
got
they have
a
a morale
Lord
test to take.
Marshal trivia
They're fine.
question.
I love it. Yeah, the banner
What's
with the
up?
good guys back on runs.
The
I didn't put
Slaanesh
I only had the icon in the big
worshipping
squad. Not the little ones.
violators, right, are a
Correct.
Space Marine chapter based in
So we
which
got-
large permanent warp storm? So you guys
Hey, you haven't
in
done
the
anything on
chat,
Kingslayer yet.
What's that?
haven't done
let
anything
us
for
know who
Kingslayer
you
yet.
think it is.
I haven't.
You guys are
Okay,
Doug and Skari.
So, wow, I really
Who do
don't
you
have much
think,
left on the board to do much
is the
with.
Space Marine chapter?
So,
The warp storm there, buddy.
Yeah, the Violators are the chapter.
Oh, excuse me, the warp storm.
I'm gonna have to do it
pretty
this way.
I've had
Lord is falling
any
back.
coffee this morning.
Oh, you just
He refuses to let me get him
Yes.
some too, so this is gonna be all day.
I've actually
I'm gonna be
done this with
grumpy.
Demonettes too in the past.
I'm gonna say it's the Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
The
I mean, they
Maelstrom.
can't
Pretty
shoot by
accurate.
falling back, but at least
I'm gonna say the permanent
sets up
warp
other
storm is the warp storm
War Dog is
of their
gonna move
own
around
hearts.
Oh, ooh.
this way.
Wow.
You're going philosophical
Then
on us
more
here.
psychics.
Yeah.
Yes.
This way.
So you guys listening in chat, let us know what the permanent warp storm is.
Where's the
Oh, we
best
got Salty
14?
John,
'Cause if I
Oh,
go
God.
around
our favorite resident
to about-
meme lord.
of the point.
Here we go.
If I go straight this way, I can get. This is much
I
faster.
am gonna get trolled for the next hour.
14, and then that
So
will
you
leave
had already
me-
been trolled.
No.
We haven't been trolly enough.
Okay, hold on. What is he doing? What's happening? Oh my God.
Well,
These guys
you know,
also
but
use
the
flat
warp
damage,
War
or they
Dog's in the
reroll
way of
damage
his
on
knight,
demons,
so he
right? Or is it
can't
just the
fulfill
marshals?
No, they
Son of a-
rerolls damage versus demons.
Are we allowed to tell him what to do?
The demonettes down here. I'm
Well,
like,
you definitely
I mean,
should.
we can.
We can. Hey, Knight player.
Yeah, that would be a little
Don't
rough.
do what you just did. See,
I'm gonna play the
Put
runaway.
that war dog back
Really?
and
I
have
just want
it
to try and get some hold.
have it advance
And
to
also
try
this way,
to
you're gonna come to the
threaten
side of
the
wall.
other objective. I don't know if it's close enough. I don't know if
I
he
don't
could have
know if
made
this
it
squad
in
of
that
those
one
squad, those
move.
Okay.
But even still, do not block your knight's charge lane.
Move him up for support. All right.
Now what the? No.
And let's see how much we can do with that squad. Okay, no shot, no shot, no shot, no
On
shot.
this
So we're on
episode
these
of
guys.
the War Dog, we'll show you what
Start
not
with the
to
little
do
guy.
with your
Oh God, he
Popped off.
You know what? Maybe he thinks it's a trap.
Okay, so we have a dog who's going to fire everything.
Somebody
into
take a
the squad.
screenshot of this so we can
We'll start
meme
with
this.
the- Did I get?
Time for me to save the day,
Yeah,
says the
no.
war dog. Not today.
No. You're just outside of 12.
Dennis is going to show us.
Thermal cannon.
That's an exactly 12-inch charge, and his knight would have had like a 10-inch or 8-inch or
yes.
something.
Salty John, it's because I don't trust you.
So it will hit.
I know
It
your
is
wicked ways.
Strength 8 to your tough 4. So 2. So it will
Hey,
wound.
if you were actually
Minus
shoutcasting this
4.
weekend, I would totally let you put memes on the stream. But since you ditched us,
That's sad.
not fair.
Hey,
Wow.
can I post memes?
And he showed up. He ditched you and showed
we'll
up
do the big
on the chat.
Yeah.
The humanity.
He hasn't been touched.
The
Hey, Jay-
So
human.
he is still
Jason,
hitting
can I
on
post memes?
threes.
Yeah,
He
just
does
send
not
it to
give
me and I'll
himself
put
the
'em all
reroll
up.
ones, unfortunately.
All right, hey, I'm going to tell Salty
Oh, yeah,
John to
get
send
outta
me the
Wounding on
memes.
Get out of
Wounding
here.
on 2s.
Stop circumventing the system. You are part of the problem.
2 will go through.
Get a command point.
That's why we can't have
Ah,
any
I do
nice
have enough.
things.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
So 3? Well, yeah, to reroll it.
It is a 5. So 3
Can we
shots
just
from
zoom in
him
on that
into
knight?
These guys.
Yep. 5 up.
Sure.
So 2
Man,
goes through.
your saves have been really rough. Okay, it does D6 damage for 5.
Okay, kills the guy.
These guys have
Make
what,
the
2
pain
wounds?
even more
Yeah, 3
painful.
wounds.
Oh,
That's why you
I just-
gangbusters
That's
on him.
it.
So,
That's what's going on in this game. He is just
but
playing
this guy-
Slaanesh so
okay, and
hard
then I
right
have
now.
my little
He's
gun.
just loving all the pain that he's
Heavy
causing
stubber
himself.
is shooting at you. Pew,
Oh my
pew.
god. That would have been like the perfect move.
2 hits. It is going to be wounding on 4s.
And now what he's doing is he's shooting at
and
those
it's a one
guys
wound, and you
so
need
that
a
he's
1.
going to pull the closest one and be out of charge range
I said a
anyway.
1.
Then he loses all
And
his
that's it for
engineers
its
next turn.
guns. That was a very
Slaanesh
unenlightened
hits
shooting
just
phase.
keep on coming.
And I really don't have any charge because these
You
guys
know, at the
can't
same
keep out
time,
of
it's always
range.
good to see,
So
you
one more
know,
turn for me to
like
try
it's
to
always
charge
good
you.
to
So
take a look at
will
games
go
like
to the-
this. It gives you a good idea and understanding of
silent.
how, in the heat of the moment,
This
you
will be
might just
bottom
lose
or-
track of the bigger picture.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well,
Have not
and you know,
killed a single
Cody and I
character.
talked about this at Iron Halo, but you know, we have the benefit
you
of
wanna
seeing the
find Demon
top down, you know, eye in the sky view,
After all my
and
demon
from the
heads.
tabletop it looks a little different, you know.
Does it's not always, especially when you like emotion starts getting in the way, you feel like the game didn't go as you expected it or whatever. And I find a lot of the times something as simple as you psyching yourself out, being like, oh, I'm playing against Grey Knights. Nah, Grey Knights suck, you know, nobody plays Grey Knights or whatever. And then going up against them and starting to get your ass whooped by Grey Knights. And then sort of having sort of like a realization that you're going to lose to Grey Knights. And then that sort of will affect your gameplay.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
You want to do the mobile cam?
But on the other hand, if both players are having a good time anyway, I mean, like, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and people go to events for different reasons. Like if your reason is to go and just roll dice and have fun and just kind of socialize and drink a couple beers and spend time with friends at local GT or RTT, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all if you win or lose whatsoever.
And to be honest, that is Dennis's the way he operates. He's just here to have fun. I mean, we saw that the last Iron Halo, you know, target priority was, well, that was Nate. Target priority was pretty terrible.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean,
that game was amazing. Lee bad.
So
That game was fun.
let's be honest. It does matter if you win or lose. You know, there's a record book in the sky keeping track of every embarrassing defeat, and you're going to be called to account at one point. You know.
When you're asked up to the old pearly gates and they say, what was your most humiliating thing? You'll have to say, oh, it was the Renegade Open there back in 2019.
They'll pull it up and go, this is my big book of whoopsies that you did.
I feel
So
that,
please
he
tell
did
me,
pick a whole bushel of oopsie daisies.
In November of 2019, what the hell was that war dog doing? Like, they made a meme out of it, man. They made a meme.
Oh God, just
Doug, did you just message me something?
negative.
Okay.
I'm going to now, though. Should I?
I don't know. I thought maybe
Do
Salty John had a meme,
Do it.
and he was just trying to get it to me.
He memes quickly, but I don't know if he memes that quickly.
Memes well.
Oh.
Oh, pun intended.
The War Dog memes well.
Oh my god.
He did. He did meme well.
All right, we're gonna get a close up of this knight, just for everybody in the chat land, Twitchlandia, and watching. So there it is.
Just a reminder, it is Infernal Household.
Yeah, it is. It's not the one you want. Wow. That would have been a perfect charge right there.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's getting shot with Astral Aim las cannons.
That sucks.
Hey, at least the knight did something on the 4th turn.
No, you were totally right.
The way the game was going to play out, it just, it's funny how you can tell that sort of thing just from deployment after you've played long enough. Just by looking at somebody's deployment style, you can kind of tell exactly how most of the game is going to happen.
Hey, since we're panning the camera around, can we find our suave Stan in the crowd?
Who's Stan?
His name was Stan.
Sassy Stan.
Sassy Stan.
Sassy Stan.
I'm not aware of
Who
a
was that?
Sassy Stan.
Yeah.
When we were focusing on Ben Sherwin's backside, there was another gentleman he was talking to that just had a really suave, sassy smile.
I know exactly who you're talking to.
Is that
He
David
captured-
Armon?
No. This gentleman had hair.
Stand there and look real pretty. But this guy here,
No, it wasn't him. He was wearing
Oh,
he was
never
wearing a
mind. We
shirt
gotta switch.
over
It
his
wasn't him.
Renegade Open shirt.
He was wearing a what?
He was wearing a shirt over his Renegade Open shirt in almost like ironic defiance of being associated with the event.
And we came to the conclusion that his name must be Stan.
okay.
Correct.
Well, I'm on the hunt.
We'll get it next
Just
round.
call out, hey Stan, you'll know who we're talking about. Well, now it's time for the Paladins to charge in, kill the rest of the Havocs, and then run in and murder the remainder of the Engineers.
So, is the score updated correctly right now? Because there's no way this is 7-7.
No, I don't think so. We're going to get it updated right now.
Again, we are seeing Grey Knights in the table, so anything's possible.
I feel
That's
like,
true.
Doug, you're just wanting to you want to make sure that the Grey Knights score 39 points, and I think your results are going to be wrong because currently.
Oh, it's 12-10.
Are they using the ITC Battles app?
Yes, we are. So we have a tablet
Yeah,
on the
that's
table,
amazing.
and it is feeding us live information of the score. So we have to really bug the players. And I think next round we'll be deploying another tablet out to a top matchup, which will kind of feature on the side, and so we can check in with those scores periodically as well.
That is really cool. I'm not going to lie. You have really outdone yourselves.
Well, it's not only
I'm-
it's Cody this time.
Sure. Yeah, I showed up.
Thank you, Cody. Without you, we would not have these scores accurately depicted on stream.
That is true. And in all fairness, Cody is wanting to leave his job as a paramedic, which I am terrified about. And he wants to join a career at Games Workshop, and if he does that, he won't be able to stream tournaments with me. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, no, you cannot work for Workshop, Cody. No, don't do it. It's a trap.
Jason, I have something to send you.
Little did we know, Mr. Akbar now memed.
Oh, God. All right. Send it to me, Doug. I'll put it on stream.
Why? What do you have?
All right, you guys. This is pretty epic. We're going to have to add this. I love it. Salty John. Why don't you message me directly?
You told him he couldn't do it.
You know, I'm just kidding.
He takes you seriously. We all take you seriously, Jason.
I seriously doubt that. All right, let me add this here real quick.
The silence is
27 to 11, gray night all day. Sorry, my son just came down and was like, he was telling me that there's lunch gonna be served soon. And I was like, I'm still streaming, son. And he's like, when are you gonna be done? Because he wants to use my computer to play Minecraft.
Oh, that's the important thing.
All right, here's the meme. Let's see if it's big enough. There we go. When you block your own knight from removing your opponent's engineers from the game, but it's okay. You're on stream, and it's just about rolling dice and having fun.
Is there a meme about making memes that are too long?
That's a really long meme.
It is.
It's a good one though.
Good job, Salty John. You are #1 in our meme hearts.
So that's when you say, the meme just says simply, War Dog says, not today.
I think you should literally call that one full tilt.
It works on so many levels.
It does.
So
when you go to a different planet to get spoils for Slaanesh, but you run into same damn traffic jam you run to at home.
Well, in all fairness, I think the terrain is going to be very detrimental to knights, because it will block knights and vehicles really well, especially kind of in the mid-level. Is that what you're thinking about, Cody, as well?
Yeah. With those magic boxes on mostly every table, it's going to kind of hinder them, especially if they didn't take the missile rack, which, looking around, all the Chaos Knights that I've seen so far, they don't have that option.
Hold on a minute. You guys are talking about blocking the terrain, but I can clearly see that if that War Dog wasn't in the way, the Knight would have plenty of room. So get out of here with that nonsense.
When you use your own models to block yourself, you've really reached a new level of competitiveness.
And not only that, but he scored more points than I thought he was going to score, which is like a double slap in the face, really.
So, Demo Fool asks, what are the dimensions of the L's? Well, each L has a small side and a large side.
We are really snarky this morning. I do, but don't apologize for my shoutcasters, because I think they do an amazing job. So approximately the short side, I would say, is 8 inches. The long side is 12.
Yeah, but it's not really about where they are or how big they are. It's about how you place them and use them.
Sure
And
it is.
in this case,
And also,
if you...
Oh, go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
Well, go ahead. I was just going to say, if you just run your guys out in the middle and, don't use them, then they might as well not be there.
Fair.
Correct.
on the other hand, when you're getting shot at by an astral aimed land raider, there's not really much you can do about it.
No.
Grey Knights OP 2020.
Well, I'm really excited about what we might see in Chapter Approved.
I am too. I wish it would come out.
Does anybody have any spicy rumors?
Well,
we heard Space Marine points will go down. Is that?
I think that one was squashed. I think the big one, the big rumor right now is that all of the Chaos Cult troops are going to get an extra wound.
Which, in my opinion, would be incredibly good for the game.
Yes. I just wish
I
that
agree,
they
but
would change Chaos Space Marines to be able to take a bolter, a bolt pistol, and a chainsword. Just make them like old school Grey Hunters. Just give them everything. They wouldn't make them so good that they're like overpowered, but I still don't think you'd see them. But they'd be fun.
I'd just like to point out that let's not forget that Space Marines always need a buff.
Always. That,
I'm okay
that's
with
like,
that,
that kind of
so long
goes
as they're of the
without
Chaos
saying.
variety.
We don't really need to remind people that that's the case, because that is just the case.
It's a given.
Precisely.
Okay, guys, we had that Lord Marshal trivia question. The Slaanesh worshipping violators are a Space Marine chapter based in which large permanent warp storm?
Was it the Eye of Terror?
Close.
Oh.
Guys in chat, what do you think it is? I mean, it's essentially the same thing. Yeah, Dempool, you're pretty close. The Maelstrom, or AKA the Eye of Terror. Isn't that the same thing?
Uh-uh.
No.
The Maelstroms were
Two different sides of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the Maelstrom?
The Maelstrom?
Yeah. That's what it said in the book.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's different from the Eye of Terror.
Oh, learn something new every day. All right.
You're the worst at this, Jason.
I really am. But I
just
have
want
a
to say that
trivia.
I was right.
It's true. And it's
It's
awesome.
really hard.
It is really hard.
So next round we'll ask another question. So you guys in chat, let us know what your what you think the answer is. But we're just here to have fun.
We like to have fun here.
So looks like Dennis's turn, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Have they scored?
recycled a unit of demonettes and then charged them into where all the engineers and things are. Hopefully he'll be able to do enough damage to maybe bring it back. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
So the knight is finally getting in there like a turn too late.
This knight is finally getting to roll some dice, and I think we should all golf clap for him.
Clap.
Please
Silence
clap.
so that we can hear the grass grow.
Yes.
So would Minecraft be like more exciting than this, Skari?
No, this is always fun. I love both aspects. You know, in Minecraft, you have creepers that blow up. In here, you have plants that blow up.
Oh,
Very
man.
fair statement.
Funny, my son's 7, and he just started playing Minecraft, and I got into it because we have a couple of iPads, and he wanted me to play with him, so I had to learn the game so that we could play multiplayer together. And it has been very fun to play with him, I will say.
That
Statement.
sounds really wholesome.
Actually knows a lot more about the game than I do, which is saying something.
Does he enjoy it?
Oh, he loves it. Is well, not obsessed with it, but he really, really enjoys it. So I painted a Black Templar captain with the new Black Templar contrast paints.
How did that go?
And I'm pleasantly impressed with it. Also, like I'm surprised at how well it looks. just for like how little effort it went into it.
Did you do it over the entire model?
Over the entire model.
What it was your
And
base coat?
so I used the bone base coat.
Okay.
The bone color. However, I do feel it is it's a little too light. I feel like I should do it with the gray. I feel that would be better.
Yeah.
For what I'm going to try to achieve. But what I did was I put a null oil wash over the entire model. It sort of dulled it down,
Nice.
or it like made it just darker, and it really helps. And now I'm just picking out all the details on the model, so the silvers and the grays and all that stuff. And I'm pleasantly surprised. I have a whole unit of intercessors that I want to do with the same technique.
That's really cool. And you didn't have any of the, like the splotchiness or whatever.
Yeah, there's a little bit on like some of the like the flat panels.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel that the null oil wash really helped with that. And as soon as I do the highlights, because I'll be doing a few like edge highlights on the model, I feel like it'll finish like help with all that as well.
And do you have anywhere that you've posted any of this stuff that we could all like check it out one day?
Yeah, I posted up on the Instagram page mostly. So SkareCast on Instagram, or the Facebook page, or the YouTube channel.
Nice.
But yes, it all gets kind of posted, cross-posted. So whichever one you pick, you get pretty much everything on that one.
So it looks like we do have a score update. Mark has 18 points and Dennis 10. Fortunately, Mark scored 3 engineer points, so that's pretty good. He's going to lose the engineers this turn, but I feel like he's got this one in the bag. They're doing the finishing moves and things like that.
Yeah, the Grey Knights seem to have come on top with this.
Yep, and just
Well
a reminder, Doug was way off on his prediction. It's probably not going to be 37-9.
I still have hope.
Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment, sir.
I feel like there's ways in ITC to lose points, and I feel like the Grey Knights have more points to gain.
That's accurate. We'll talk to the TO about reducing Dennis's points by 1.
Not only did you get a yellow card, not only did your war dog stand in the wrong place, but we're going to take points away from you.
Not a
I
good
award
first
you no
round.
points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah,
Accurate.
thank you for coming to our event, and now we are making sure you never come back again.
Oh, so bad. This is a great game, though.
It has been really fun to watch. And I love the shoutcasting with all you folks.
Well, we love having you.
It's always
here.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Even Doug.
Especially Doug.
Especially.
Yes.
When you least expect it, the Dougman shows up.
Yeah, I'm sad that we weren't able to stream at Mid-Mo Maelstrom.
Yeah.
I was really.
We were too after making our 5.5-hour drive.
Were you just there to do streams?
Yeah. I didn't even bring
Yeah,
any of
there
my
was-
army or anything.
Yeah, there was an issue.
Oh,
There was an issue with the venue, with the internet to the venue was down or something.
that's never a fun situation to be in.
Right, and it kind of got sprung on the organizers at the last minute. It was nothing. It was none of their nothing that they could have done. Like the venue hall was like, oh yeah, we were supposed to have this, and we didn't. Sorry, screw it. Screw you guys. It's like, well, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a big letdown. I was excited to see some more games, and do some streaming with all you guys again, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
I find that it's better to not have anything than to have a bad, choppy stream.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do anything with how low the internet was, sadly. We would have just had to, record the games, listen to me and Jason jammer on about something, and then post them later. It would not have been good.
It would have been very good quality, unfortunately.
Well, you could just think of this game as the spiritual successor to, the first round of Midmo Maelstrom.
And it is.
So, chat, we have a question for you. Who are you rooting for? What do you feel you would have done differently in place of either of the two players?
Moving the War Dog in front of the Knight is not one of those answers, because we've already run through that. I feel like we beat it with a dead horse by now. Or do you think we can beat on it some more?
Well, no. What I
feel like
I'm saying, just with the armies that they have, not switching units out or anything, what would y'all have done differently?
Don't let anything get in the way of your answer.
I mean, obviously, I think the Knight and the two War Dogs should have been booking it. Well, it should have been deployed more centrally, and should have been booking it towards the other side of the table, from the get go. You know that the Grey Knight player has Astral Aim, so it doesn't really matter about trying to stay out of line of sight.
Correct.
So trying to hide behind the building would have been was basically useless.
Now, something that's also important to remember is just the amount of mortal wounds that Grey Knights can put out. Now, that definitely would have changed the the pace of the game.
Maybe, but instead of him being able to pick off the Lascannon Havocs early, he would have been having to shoot at Knights.
Correct. And the Knights itself would have been the biggest threat to the Land Raider.
Not to mention, he could have warped for toughness 9 and just shrugged off Lascannons all day anyway. Or at least made him, make that 4 up. So, you got hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, and 4 up invulnerable save. That's pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
And now, do the Chaos Knights have the ability to blow up on a 4+? They have that stratagem?
Infernals do.
Yes.
Okay. So I think maybe that could have been the play. For me personally, could have put him on that left side, kind of harassed his objective, run the two War Dogs in front with the the Decimator in the back. Just kind of if you look at it from the same thing, he goes up towards that Land Raider. All the characters get out. They'll probably do some smiting. They'll probably kill one of the War Dogs or try to pick down the Knight. When he charges in, you just try to blow up on a 4+ and just try to kill out some of those characters and then just pick them out later. But that's just me.
Well,
when objectives go down, that's really going to tell you where the game should be played, especially in ITC format. If the objectives go down on one side of the table, you shouldn't really be focusing on the other side of the table unless the opponent has a crazy amount of speed that they can kind of attack you from, like Eldar or whatnot.
Yeah.
If not, you have to sort of realize that your army is slow and you are going to have to get to that objective at some point in the game. And you have to have a plan to either take it or put pressure on it so your opponent has to divert resources to keeping it in their possession, essentially.
Yeah, I agree 100% there. And then of course, just knowing what your opponent can do, he might not have realized. He might not have realized about the Astral Aim,
Yeah, well, if you don't play Grey Knights very often, or you haven't seen them played, it's very easy to forget, what they're capable of or what they can do. and then play like you're playing against a regular Space Marine army, only to find out that they're not regular Space Marines at all.
Yeah, they're worse.
Yes.
Ain't that the truth?
Zing. So yeah, so where's some GW previews? Show us some new Primaris Grey Knights. That's what we need.
I'm not gonna lie, those models would be dope.
They would be pretty cool.
With
I
the
feel like
fluff
Primaris
palette?
Grey Knight. Well, what they do is they would just have to get like Primaris. Just Grey Knight intercessors, you know, give them wrist-mounted Stormbolters, and then you're good to go. Yeah.
I want
And
wrist-mounted
then they
bolt
just
rifles.
twin bolt rifles, wrist-mounted twin bolt rifles.
Or even give them the auto bolt rifle. I'm okay with that too.
That's an assault weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they made it Assault 3 now because it really needed some help.
Even then, we don't see them like ever.
No, not anymore.
Well,
not
it,
ever.
it looks like the Knight is finally getting to punch some Terminators.
Yes, he is actually putting in some work, I do believe.
Now imagine if he was Iconoclast.
Ugh. I don't know about you, but I personally feel that Iconoclast is better. I like the -1 AP and the +1 attack, obviously. They also have the relic for the 4+ invulnerable save. I know they don't have some of the cool abilities to become like toughness 9 or more damage on your weapon, but I think just overall, I really enjoy what they do better.
They are definitely more versatile, and they have the stratagems that lets them be good against infantry and lets them be good against like monsters and vehicles with the strats they have. And I feel like as well, you should always make, if you just have one big knight, you should always make him a what's the name of their special types of knights? The ones that get all the cool rules.
The Rampager?
Oh, the fort.
It's a rule from the book. They become like a free blade, but not a free blade.
Dreadblade.
I feel like the Dreadblade rules really add a lot to the Chaos Knight households as well.
Yeah, they're far superior than the Free Blade. Those were horrible.
You know, there's a couple of basic ones that you see people taking a lot, which are allowing your Dreadblade to essentially get a boost to a stat, right? So you roll a d6 before the game starts, and they get like a cool stat boost. And if you're running like a shooting knight, getting the +1 ballistic skill is really useful. But even if because you're running Iconoclast normally, running well, even the +1 weapon skill can be really good because you get into close combat and then stompy feet people better.
Oh yeah.
So wow, it looks like he got like pretty much all of those paladins.
Well, it's because he was able to combine attacks with the War Dog and the Knight at the same time. I feel like that probably helped him out. So maybe there was a really good strategy about, blocking your Knight with the War
feeding
Dog.
his army piecemeal like he's been doing this whole game.
Hey, it's never too late to change your strategy.
I think what Jason's
That's
saying
true.
here is that teamwork makes the dream work.
And I don't know. I guess so. I guess those strike marines did not go towards the engineers. They went towards the center objective. So
There was a unit of demonettes there last turn. He went up there and killed them, and that's when he recycled them and went over to the back left objective of the Grey Knights. And so that's kind of why they were kind of almost like out of position.
All right, there's a score update for you. Big turn for Dennis, but I don't think that was enough. Scored 5 points that turn, so that's pretty good. He got all of his gangbusters, or finished it off.
Ten paladins give you all the gangbusters? I guess they do, right? You need 8 paladins.
Oh yeah, because it's only two. It's only every 2 models. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, you had to deal with the paladins at some point, so I guess gangbusters wasn't a terrible choice in that sense.
No, but he should have killed them a turn earlier, or the knight should have been, on the other side of the board, and the scores would be flip flopped right now.
It would definitely be in the other way. Yeah, I agree.
So
Well, at least I got
in my
points right.
in my mind, though.
Well, let's take a look at those predictions one more time. This is turn 6, final turn. And Cody was right, 19 points for Chaos. But technically, there's still one more turn, so it'll be a little higher. I went 24-22, Skari 24-18 for Chaos, and Doug 37-9. I feel like we're doing the Price is Right show, so you were. I think you're going to be the closest without going over. So that's pretty good.
I
don't know. Your score's pretty dead on.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is score 3 more points, and you nailed it.
I mean, I am pretty awesome.
It's true.
I'd just like to point out that even though Jason might be slightly more correct, the score actually spiritually is 37-9.
in our heart of hearts, it is.
We all know from watching what transpired in this game that it really should be 37-9.
Hey, for those of you guys watching, we are going to put this game on YouTube, and you'll be able to relive all of the amazing moments, including when a war dog blocked his own knight from charging some engineers. So I think that was probably my favorite moment of the weekend so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we have so many different moments to take from.
And so,
although Salty John did put the meme up on the.
That's right. We'll
on
put
the
that. We'll put that back up there here in a second. But I think it happened during turn 4.
Yeah.
Turn 4, and
No, it was. It was something like that.
Yeah. Here's the image right here. Pretty epic. When you block your own knight from removing your opponent's engineers from the game, it's okay because you're on stream.
Not in.
And it's just about rolling dice and having fun. Accurate. If only Salty John could do this to the GW stream at LVO, that would be epic.
That would be great. We could definitely learn a thing or two from that.
Yeah. So who do you got to talk to help out on stream at LVO?
Red comment.
Jason,
What's up, Jason? Is that Jason speaking? Yes, that is me.
No, hey, I'm Red Comet.
I know. Why are you commenting in the chat?
Well, I was responding to Nebraska Ball. Or Nebraska Ball.
Okay.
It's commentception.
Okay, that's cool. Well, thanks, Red Comment. Appreciate you looking out for my back.
You're welcome.
Yep. The next game will be 12 o'clock. So, actually, probably 12:30 to be honest. We started about 30 minutes late. Here's the schedule. Probably 12:45, actually. Yeah. We're going to have Skari and Andy from Veteran Gamers Reenlisted. That'll be fun.
We're gonna have a total hoot. And when do you start? Is it the day 2 that you start streaming mostly the top tables, or do you just kind of play it by ear?
That's typically correct. We'll probably stream a top table definitely on Sunday, for sure rounds 5 and 6, and those will be fun rounds. So we got some awesome, amazing shoutcasters. Doug's gonna be back on round 4 tomorrow. We got some TFG guys, Frontline Gaming Network guys, and the Flying Monkey guys for rounds 5 and 6. So by that time, Cody and I will be extremely tired, and we'll let them do all the talking.
So it will definitely be a lot more focused and relaxed stream.
Probably.
Yes.
We won't be having to do like mic checks every 10 seconds.
Probably not. We'll have it figured out by then.
By the way, the night is gone.
Wow, we missed it.
God.
Wow.
I think there was some last cannon shots. Well, we're terrible shoutcasters. Well, I am anyway.
I missed it.
Well, yeah, he cast
we all
Astral
shoot
Lane
out.
again.
And there goes a War Dog.
Grey Knight is just mopping up right now.
But he can't table him though.
So he's just mopping it up. I don't think the Iconoclast player can catch up.
And that's the game right there. Epic ending.
Tis the end of the match. So let us know down below what you thought of the match. And that's it.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
I thought that it was a great match.
It was.
All right, we got the
I
final
enjoyed it.
scores right here. 29-19. So Doug
I
was
was
a little
damn
closer
proud.
than we thought.
I was thinking you did it just oversight.
Whoa.
It was an oversight, but should have gone back to 20 squad. I wasn't thinking about the time. I was like, oh, well, if you like that, what would you
Somebody ask him about his war dog being in the way of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cody, ask him about that.
we're going to have Cody set up for interviews real quick. Any other questions for Cody for the players? Skari or Doug?
Not for me specifically. The biggest thing would be choice of secondaries. Why did they pick the secondaries they picked and not something simpler like recon or, especially the knight player? And also the biggest thing would just be the knight positioning. Why not put pressure on the, if he was going to put pressure on with the demonettes, why not use the knights to put pressure on the Grey Knight objective from the beginning?
The question that I have is how much fun did everyone have?
They're not allowed to have fun. It's a tournament. But I guess that's a good question.
All right, we'll go back to Cody. Cody, is your mic hot?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, here he is. Let me see if we can do this right. Oh, nope. I think I have to... Hold on 1 second, guys. There we go. Perfect. All right, Cody. Go ahead and ask away.
All right. So we're here with Dennis and Mark. The first game out of the tournament went pretty well. It was really fun to watch. What do you guys think overall how the game went? Mark, let's start with you.
But I thought the game went well. My plan worked like I wanted it to. I kept moving the Land Raider around the building to keep it out of line of sight, using astral aim to shoot his important stuff. And I had it surrounded with characters, so if he came up, I could take care of whatever he brought up to attack the Land Raider.
Well, that plan seemed to work out pretty well, obviously. Dennis, what was your thought on putting your knights way over there whenever the objective was over here? Everyone was kind of wondered about that.
Well, it was just kind of thinking. I knew we talked a bit, and I knew kind of his strategy was to hide a Land Raider, and I thought he might try and come for my stuff, and so he'd go on that side, and I wanted to put some assaulty towards the point because it was in a building that I could only get there, and I wanted deploying everything first made it so I did not know exactly where to put things. So I said, well, I've got really long range. I can move out, but then when he was behind the building, I'm like, I got nothing to shoot. And that was his first 2 turns, and he made the decision of keeping all the things in reserve till that 3rd turn, making that extra turn of me not having anything to shoot. So in hindsight, it probably could, but I didn't want to put everything on this side because I thought if I put everything on the right side of the board where we're facing,
he would deep strike all his stuff in, overswarm mine, and then he'd start getting the bonus.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have screened me out, I would have just gated the Land Raider with the characters back to his objective.
Right.
So, in the end, kind of worked.
Well, overall, it was a really good game. We all had a lot of fun talking about it. There was a couple of little things that we were kind of concerned about, like whenever your knight was up here and we moved like their war dog in front of the knight. We thought maybe that full tilt may have gotten used to come into those paladins. What was your thought process when those war dogs kind of came up and then had to kind of backtrack?
You mean like, well, the first one, I was just trying to measure so I could get it to do a charge, and then it was still outside. The other the war dog was coming up here was just trying to come up support, shoot anything because his characters were visible. So I'm like, let's try and get any shot. So that's why I split them across. And then when the war dog got in front of the knight, that was more because the war dog had more movement, and I'd go with it first. And it didn't block line of sight for the knight to shoot.
And he did make both your charges.
I did make both the charges. Yes.
Oh well, I guess it didn't matter at that point, anyways. But
the paladins making a long charge on the bottom of 3 is what forced him to go back. He made a 10-inch charge into his fire base in the trees with the hammer-handed paladins, and that's why he brought the knights back to try to counteract the paladins, because the paladins were just cleaning stuff up. And I didn't charge his character, so I was able to wrap him so that he couldn't shoot into the paladins. So the character with the chainsword let me just keep on wrapping him because I wasn't worried about him hurting the paladins with the chainsword with no AP.
But also the other reason on coming that the paladins were all my gangbuster points, so I had to go back and pretty much take care of them because that was a lot easier than trying to get any points on Headhunter.
Well, you ended up getting them anyways. Once again, fellas, it's a great game. Really appreciate it.
All right, that's it. Final thoughts, Skari and Doug?
Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in and watching. We'll be back with round 2 in about 45 minutes or so. Make sure you stay tuned for that, and a weekend full of gaming. This was a really fun game, and don't forget, just put paint on it.
And I don't have anything near as snappy to say as that, but I'll be back tomorrow for round 4, and hopefully we'll have just as much fun then.
I think it will. Stream games are always a blast, and if not, we'll just red card you. So anyway, guys.
Thanks again, fellas.
Yeah, Cody, final thoughts?
No, I just really enjoyed watching the game. I love it whenever 2 players like this get together and you can watch the Benny Hill style, just run around the board. I love this kind of play, so this is right up my alley.
Cool. Well, we're excited to be here. More coverage about 12:30-ish. Just check the stream. We'll go live, and yeah, we appreciate you guys watching. This video will be on YouTube here in probably a couple hours or so you can be able to watch it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And as
thanks, everybody.
Dice safely.